All right now, for all you cool cats, all you arrow twirlers with an eye on the X, we have a special evening for you. Guided by Wilderness Archery's own John Scar and Elliot Peters, it's Archery After Hours, where the bow rests and the night continues.
Ahoy, and welcome to Archery After Hours. We're here in a dimly lit room in Studio C.
Si, senor.
Si, senor. Once again, it's a dimly lit room deep within the bowels of the Wilderness Archery Communications compound. Tonight, we're joined by James Visser. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Looking forward to getting into it. But before we get started, of course, we want to thank the people who support us. So Flingham Nation Bowstrings, as always, you guys, top quality strings for top quality archers. Highly recommend them. I shoot them myself. We all love Nick as an archer. Yep.
Yeah.
Great dude. Great quality products. And you get what you pay for. You know that you're getting a quality string from a quality guy. And then, of course, as always, if you need that assurance this year, you got to get assured with Sherwood's Bowworks bow press. too many words all at once.
Does he even know you're selling presses for him?
No, not at all.
Jesus.
No. Yeah.
Well, just sending it. You know,
Right. Poor fucker.
Great press, great quality product, and
might actually be currently for sale. Might not.
No, they're for sale. He's got them. And if you guys want one, hit me up. If you need a top quality press, a spike press level bow press at half the cost, you definitely need a Sherwood Bowworks. And this thing's going to outlive your great grandchildren. It is top quality, and yeah, it's awesome. I love mine. I even got an adapter for my truck so I can take it anywhere that I want to go. So otherwise, we're going to get right in. James, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of your background and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me on. I had to chap Elliot's ass a little bit while we were watching shoot-offs, and I said, hey, how have I not been invited on your show yet? And then I think I guilt-tripped him.
I didn't even know you're interested, man.
His wife jumped right on and was like, yeah, what are you doing? Why not? And so anyway, we lined it up where I came on here pretty quick after Vegas. And I normally won't do stuff this late. I'm usually in bed at 8 on the weekdays, you know.
Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah, so I literally sat down on the couch watching some baseball YouTube at about 7:15, and I'm like, all right, I got some time. I literally wake up at 7:45 just snoozing on the couch, bro. And I'm like, all right, we got a rally for these boys. So I'm energetic now. But yeah.
You got your second win?
Yeah, but my name James Visser. We're from the YouTube Bow-Disciples, which we started in 2018. So we're about coming up on 8 years in, which is crazy. Time goes by really fast. And I always say, you know, we made a lot of videos for a long time that nobody watched. You know what I'm saying? But we got a lot better, and I've shot bows my entire life since I was probably 2 or 3. I've shot bows, and always was a bow hunter, and I've shot 3D. I have a first place 3D plaque from 2006 is probably my first archery award, and have shot ever since. I was a professional bike rider doing like slope style stuff, so tricks and traveling the world as a biker from 2010 to 2013. So hunted a lot less then, shot a lot less. But I would always do like 1 or 2 hunts a year still and stay involved. And then when I kind of wrapped up my bike riding career, then I really started like hunting a lot more, shooting a lot more, and did real estate for a handful, actually 8 years as well. But I
Okay.
always made videos too. That was how my biking career kind of got off is, got going was we put our first video on the internet in 2007. So we've been making videos for almost 20 years online, which is crazy. We were pretty early
Shit.
on it. Yeah. And I figured real estate was a good career where I could use the skills that I had used to grow my bike career of, growing online.
Yeah.
And I could do that in real estate. And it worked pretty well. But I missed making videos about something that was like fun to me. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I kind of sat there and went, well, I've always shot bows. I've always bow hunted. Maybe I could make archery videos. Like, I don't really know if anyone does this. And back then I did a little YouTube search and the only one I really saw doing it at the time was Chris B. Had a few videos and he was like 15 or something.
Yeah.
And, or maybe a little older than that, but and I'm not a whole lot older than Chris, but I was like, okay, so somebody does it. And, he probably had like 8,000 subscribers at the time or something. So I'm like, okay, it does work. Like some people watch this. And then we started and, yeah, just kept it rolling. And
You
I
guys
would,
turned 100,000 last year, didn't you?
yeah, 100,000 got the friggin' plaque right over here, which is
Dude,
pretty
so
neat.
sick.
Yeah, really neat. And, yeah, it took, dude, honestly, probably I wouldn't say we hit like our stride and really became like a mainstream archery and hunting channel till probably like 2024. So, I mean, it took like
Oh,
six
wow.
years of just doing it for free and for fun and paying for it with my real estate career. And I think that is like, I get asked a lot from youngsters or even people that are our age, like what do I need to do it? And I'm like, you got to be
Yeah.
willing to do it for free and put out money for 5 years and hustle your ass off because you love it that much. And then one day, it can turn on a dime and you just have a crazy year. But for us, that was it. I mean, our content hasn't changed all that much. It's just like, it's just
That's wild.
eventually people found it and got onto it. And I feel
Was
very
it like,
glad. You know,
oh, yeah.
yeah.
Was it like any one thing or like one video that just like blew up on you and like put you on the mark or what happened? Or is it just like the steady consistency?
I would say for us, consistency was the main thing. But there was early on, probably in our first year, we had a video where it's still on the channel now. It's our highest viewed long form video still to this day. It's super old, but it's me and my dad hunting in this pop up blind and on private land. And basically, that like we're filming this little buck out in front of us, and we weren't going to shoot him. We're just filming him, and all of a sudden, a gunshot rings out and shoots right past our blind, which was by a tree, and they shot. We were the only ones allowed to hunt this property, and I filmed a poacher shoot the deer over the fence right in front of us. Deer goes down, I keep filming, we get the guy walk up to the deer, like, take a selfie with it and everything, all on film, you know what I mean? So that video,
Dude,
I
I've
think had, like
seen this. I didn't know this was yours. I've seen this years ago.
yeah, so I think it has, like, 700,000 views, and that was when I was like, "Okay, like, maybe something could happen." I don't know, like, that's and then over the time, I mean, I would if I was to point to one thing, like, later on that led to kind of what we're doing now, I would say it was, I went to San Antonio TAC with Brandon McDonald, Tim Connor, and MFJJ, and I had never met any of those guys. We went for a collab to film, and after that, I would say things sorta took off a little bit, but
Was I hadn't heard of uh MFJJ till TAC last year. When
Mhm.
I went out there with Tate. Was he already kind of established when you went out there, or did you guys kind of hit your mark at the same? I see him now all the time, and I don't know if that's just because he's blown up now too, or what was it?
Yeah. I would say we were kind of in a similar spot. I think we started about a similar time. He might have started like a year later, but he kinda got going with filming with Elk Shape and,
Oh yeah,
because they live, right next to each other. So he kinda got
gotcha.
going pretty quick, and also, like, when it comes to reviews in archery, like, he's the best. He's the best there is. So his stuff goes crazy and always was.
Yeah,
And we didn't really ever do review stuff. I mean, obviously now we have a bunch of sponsorships too. So like, our stuff's more entertainment based, where his is more education based. But we always got
Sure.
along really well and still do. I'm filming with him in like 2 weeks. Um, so
Nice.
and Brandon too, like, I don't know, like, he was like OG archery YouTube. Like, he was one of those
Mhm.
guys when I looked it up, like, him and Chris were like kind of the dudes doing it. And he does less now. I mean, he does a podcast all the time, but he doesn't make as many videos for like his own channel. But just like kind of all of us joining up, um, me, Brandon, Tim, and Josh, I just think like that in the space, you didn't see collabs like that before
Sure.
that too much. You see them now, but I think like just the fact that all of us cross pollinated audiences and stuff, like really kind of helped all of us elevate. Like if I look at where any of us are versus where we were on that first trip, we've all grown a ton in different ways. But I do have to throw a lot of credit to that trip, I would say, to what we're doing now. And what's crazy is like I said, that wasn't that long ago. You know, it was in like May of
No,
2024, and
that's
then
wild.
after, or it might have been 2023, but I think it was 24. And then, yeah, just kind of off to the races after that. Yeah.
Damn. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I, me and Taylor Spoolstra went to a
Yeah.
shoot up in Idaho last year, and we stopped in, saw Michael Allman, and shot at his range there at Spokane Valley Archers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? What? There's a bunch of 3D animals out there. Let's go shoot those.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's that elk-shaped guy's house, and it's right there. It's kind of,
Oh, really?
it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's literally the backdrop. Maybe it
Yeah.
looks probably
Yes.
400 yards away. And he's
Yeah.
Oh,
just
wow.
got 3D animals all throughout the yard.
That would
Yeah.
be nice.
Pretty cool.
Their properties are literally like share a border. I'm pretty sure like they're conjoined.
Yeah.
But Josh does, like, Spokane Valley Archery does have a full 3D range. Like you can walk and shoot probably like 25 targets. So really unique, really cool. And now he's got a shop over in Nashville too. So I've been really proud to
Mhm.
see how much, he's used his platform and grow. And for me, the biggest thing is to grow the sport of archery. That's always been important to me. And Josh does a great job of that with his shops. And I think that part of the reason we wanted to do the indoor this year was, you know, um, one, that I'm competitive and I know I have some talent as a shooter. I've always had good results my entire life, even from when I was a little kid. So I wanted to take on the challenge of trying to do something that I've never done, which is indoor, and go do it on
Mhm.
the biggest stage. I never did
Yeah.
I never did an indoor league night, nothing. I just practiced and went for it. It was 6 weeks of prep and showed up, and I'm really happy with how I did. But the point of it was to show people that indoor archery is super fun too, and it is. I had a
Yeah.
great time. And coming into Vegas, I wasn't sure if I would do it again. I was like, I don't know. We'll see. After I go, we'll see if
Yeah.
I want to do it again or not. And before we even shot a competition, but just the practice day, I was like, "Oh, I'll definitely be back. Like, I'm coming back." And with more than 6 weeks of prep, I definitely
Yeah.
think I'll
You
I'll
did.
I'll be pretty dang solid next year. Yeah.
You maximized the 6 weeks, I will say. I don't know how much you felt like going up and talking to Greg helped. I'm sure it had to have.
Yeah.
Greg's a wealth of knowledge, but like you crammed a lot of good prep into that 6 weeks. And what'd you end up with? You were in like what, flight 3?
Flight 3, I started in 18th and I finished in 6th. So
Solid.
I actually got paid, got some money, and I finished
Nice.
66th overall at a 792 or 797 in flight. So
Yep.
I'm really happy with that. I shot a 892. I shot a 79 or 297, 297, 298, which is about what I do in practice. So that's what I'm most proud of because so many people told me ahead of time, like, oh, if you're doing it, 298, 299 in practice, that's like going to be like a 295, 290 to 295 at Vegas.
Sure.
And for me, I went and shot the exact same. I shot in practice all 3 days, and I'm really proud of that. And actually, the third day was my highest score, the 298, and I was clean through 8 rounds. And then I shot a 9 on round 9 and a 9 on round 10 on my last arrow. But I think next year I mean, obviously my goal is to go have fun, film it, make great content, and try to get more people do indoor archery, which that was one of my favorite parts about Vegas is like, I can't tell you how many people came up and talked to us that were like, this is my first time here. And like, I came
Yeah.
because you were doing this prep and that is why we do it. The results are secondary. I'm blessed. I'm not a, I'm not a professional shooter at this point. So all I have to do is show up and make great content. And if I do good, that's just a bonus, you know, but for us, it's trying to grow the sport. So I think next year, I mean, I'm not going to like set a goal per se, but I just want to, it'd be dope to do better than I did this year, which I definitely think I can do. I'd love
Yeah,
to beat
for
Elliot
sure.
next year. In fact, maybe that's my goal. Beat Elliot. Yeah. But
All you, all
I'm
you
just
got to
trying to hit
do,
another.
we'll
all you got
both
to
be
do
on
is,
flight. Yeah.
Yeah.
so, all you got to do is distract him for a little bit, and he'll shoot the wrong target. So
Yeah. And I
you
was
just got to get on the same bale with him.
yeah, so
I don't know if
I was very happy to not shoot the wrong target ever because Greg told me he'd like when you swap that target, you need to step up to line and say out loud what target you're going to shoot. And I did that every single time. And I mean, I think I saw all 3 days when we switched targets. I'm pretty sure each day someone shot the wrong target. And I'm like, dude, I'm
Yep.
so happy that wasn't me. And the funny part is day 2, I started on the bottom. I always prefer to start on the top target and go to the bottom. But day 2, if you watch in the video, basically me and this kid, like on a coin flip, decided day 1. And I won. We both wanted bottom. I won the coin toss, so I did bottom, and then we switched. And then day 2, I was like, I'm gonna be nice and just like do the opposite.
Yeah.
Dude, we switched targets and I friggin' step up and I'm like, okay, top target. And I step up and friggin' pipe a perfect X. And I'm like, oh, I didn't shoot the wrong one, did I? And I look and I'm like, oh no, I'm good. You know, but
Yeah.
like for a second, I almost thought I shot the wrong one. So,
Did I tell
um,
you I did that last year?
really,
Yeah, bro.
oh,
Friday, and it was like N4 or something like that. Or it was right before the flip. So it wasn't even the flip that got me. It was just the 8-power lens. And when you come down on a bale that's got 12 rings on it,
yeah,
and you can only see the inner half of one through an 8-power lens, I just settled in on it and I piped the shit out of it and hit the girl on my bale's target and sealed my weekend real quick.
dang, dude.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah. But it really was so much fun. I mean, we were driving home in the car and Brianna and I were just talking about it. And like, we're like, man, first of all, she's gonna do bow hunter next year. She's like, I'm gonna do bow hunter
I was gonna
flights, and
ask. Right on.
we'll film a whole thing around her prepping for it. But I mean, I was literally in the car. I was saying, man, I wish it was next year, like next week, because I want to
Yeah,
do it again. Like I already want to do it again, and that I think to a lot of my audience, at least, that watches for entertaining tack stuff or 3D tournaments or hunting. I think a lot of them, including myself probably, were like, dude, indoors like a bunch of squares, bro. That shit's not fun. People are
yeah,
gonna be so serious and it is serious. Like the nerds are wild, but it's also a blast, dude. Like I have not had a
yeah,
weekend that fun shooting a bow in a long time. And plus, it's Vegas, bro. Like, are you kidding me? Vegas is
yeah.
my favorite place. Like, I love it. So it's like, yeah, you can't really lose. You know what I mean? And you're
Yeah,
shooting your bow. Like at the end of the day, you're out there shooting your bow. And I found that, and I'm sure it's not always this way. You guys can tell me, but each bale I was on, you're with your group of 4.
yeah.
It was just so fun, dude. Like it was electric, and in some ways, I wouldn't say I felt bad, but I was like, every single bale was on. So I was on a bale the first 2 days with the same group. And then the second day with 3 people, obviously, because the first day we only had 2 and then a girl that was handicapped.
Oh,
So she took up one whole side. And she was
I
awesome.
had the same thing.
She shot really well too. She was awesome. She was super cool. And then, but my point being is every bale I showed up on, people were like, "Oh, dude, like, I just hope to get to meet you, and now I'm shooting this bale with you." And I was like, "Dude, I kind of feel
That's
bad
cool.
that I'm probably making them more nervous than like they
Oh,
already
sure.
were." You know, so I felt bad, but they all had so much fun, dude, and it was cool because afterwards they're like, "Is it cool if we take a picture with our targets?" I'm like, "Dude, of course." Like, I'm having just
Dude, that's awesome.
I'm as stoked as you are to be shooting with you. You know what I mean? And to me, that camaraderie of the bale was really, really
Yeah.
cool, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm
I
sure
saw some of
sometimes
your,
you get with someone that's like, I'm sure it happens where you're with someone who's not very fun or just like way too tense. Like, I'm sure that does happen, but probably a lot more rare, probably a lot more rare than you get like a killer fun bale. You know what I mean?
I've had
Yeah.
some, I've had some instances, and we were talking about who the hell was I talking about this with? We were like, it would almost be worth going to championship. It was, gosh, dang it, it's right there. Oh, it was Sean Elza. He was saying he had somebody on his bill, and Sean, I don't, you don't know Sean maybe, but he shot a 26x300 on day one. The dude can hammer, and
He's won flights before too.
yeah, he's a
Oh, sick.
freaking stud, blue collar dude. Wife and kids. Like he's just a stud. He doesn't have all the time in the world to do it, but
Actually, he owns a shop now.
yep, he bought
Oh,
a shop
sick.
up in Washington. Yeah. Um. Anyway, he was saying that he shot a 300 and his bail. I think one of the guys might have said something to the tune of like, "I've never seen anybody shoot a 300 before. Like this is incredible." Like was really blown away by it, and he's all cool, So the next day, arrow one, the dude stops him right before he draws back and goes, "Hey, you're gonna shoot a 300 today, right?" And he's like, "I mean, I'm gonna try, dude, but I'm trying also not to think like that." And I
Yeah.
think his first arrow was a 9.
Oh,
Just and and you got to know better, and it takes a minute to learn this that you don't say shit like that, And we were talking like in the pro class, nobody would have done that to you. They all know we don't talk about Bruno. You know what I mean? Like we're not. There's certain things you don't say to each other, and that's one of them. And I don't know if it wasn't for the price, it might be worth for the experience and like maybe a little different environment. But like I've had some kick-ass bales in the past too, like super good dudes that were just as good as anybody else, and meant it was a good time.
Well, like
yeah,
when we were shooting with Jesse that year, Jesse Clayton up at Reading, he even mentioned, he's like, "Look, I don't care if I end up sucking at this or whatever. I'll always shoot championship at Vegas, because when everyone walks up to the bale, everyone's mentality is, how am I calling this in? Because we're all there to do this very, very tough thing, and the last thing that any of those archers in that upper flight, that championship flight, are trying to do is take away that opportunity from another archer. So
Right.
I'm not saying there's built-in forgiveness there, but there's built-in like I don't know, like camaraderie, I guess.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
You're not gonna get the guy that's like, "Oh, I think it's out because I shot a 9
I need to do better
or
than you
something
type
like
of thing.
that."
Yeah.
You're not gonna find that in that championship group, is
Dude,
kind of what I've
I
heard.
didn't tell you this, but I too had a handicap pair, I don't know what you call it, mobility impaired female shooter on my bail the first 2 days. And she was from there. And in between ends, I can hear her, she's sitting right next to me, she's talking out loud, and she's just mumbling this shit. And I'm like, what is she talking about? And I look over and I said, what? And she shows me this notepad, and she's got like an atom exploded into different, I don't know science. So it was what you would see in a
Particles.
history book, right? And I'm all, what are you doing? And she goes, I'm studying for my organic chemistry test on Tuesday. And I was like, fucking why? And she's like, I'm just trying to not think about archery. And I was like, okay. So I kind of, I'm like, oh yeah, I get it. I don't want to think about it either. And then like a couple minutes later, I was talking to some guy. It was actually, it was right when you walked up and we're watching me, and that other guy on my bail, we all realized that we all love the movie Rad.
Yeah.
It was when we were having that conversation. In the background, I hear her go, "What?" And I kind of got my attention, but I was like, I'm not going to buy into this. I know what she's doing. And she goes, what did she say? She goes, "That's isopropyl." And she's looking in her notepad, and I'm all, oh my God. Like, enough with the science. Can we just shoot archery for a second?
Yeah, that's
It was,
man.
I like
it
the
was something, man.
dedication though. Yeah,
Yeah. Everybody's got their tricks, to keep their mind at bay.
for sure.
There's
For sure.
definitely an
That was a new
aspect.
one.
There's definitely so we shoot a lot of money tournaments for indoor season. Like there's a lot up here in the north side, so you'll definitely have to join us next year. But
Yeah.
like I've been on bad bales at 3D tournaments or whatever. Not so much the personalities, but more so just like, okay, why are you taking so long? There's only one person shooting. Why there's 4 spots? What's the deal here? Little things like that. But for the most part, I feel like in archery as a whole, like it takes a lot to get onto a bad bale.
Yeah,
And in indoor, like even there's, people that say that certain individuals dislike other ones and whatnot. And I've had to shoot indoor tournaments on the same bales as these people and what have you. And I have a great time shooting next to them, standing right next to them. Like, and it's like, I thought you didn't like me, it doesn't seem like it, like,
I don't.
whatever.
I've told you this many times.
What?
Yeah.
That's why I stick you on that other end when, no, but it's like even our last indoor tournament, other than the Vegas or Bust one that I hosted in February, our Todd Hawkins shoot, like I had Randy Long, Alan Brunetta, and Adam Correa on my bale. Like, could not have asked for a better bale. Just quality guys, and I don't think at that tournament you could have gotten a bad bale. Like that everyone that shows up, we're all there to do the same thing. We all understand what we're, hey, don't talk about Bruno or what, all that stuff. It's out. We all understand that. And it's just about like in between, like none of the conversations are, hey, how you doing? What's next? Whatever it is. It's always like, oh, what hunts do you have planned for this year? Or,
what's the organic structure of isopropyl?
Yeah, exactly. Something crazy. And so it's definitely something cool. And I think specifically for indoor, I think one of our buddies says it best. He loves going because it's like getting the boys back together. It's just like a fun time. Yeah, we're here to try and shoot for each other's money and whatnot, but every conversation on the side makes it worth the while.
James, are you in San Diego?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So are you just like busy and shit? I know you got all kinds of shit going on. You're always traveling and shooting stuff content wise and critter wise. But like, is there any like indoor shit that you've heard of or league stuff nearby that you can get in on?
Yeah. So we actually, I mean, dude, from a density standpoint, within 30 minutes from my house, there's 4 different places I can shoot 3D tournaments in each one they rotate weeks. So I can shoot a 3D every single week of the year, basically. For within a half hour drive. If you say a 2-hour drive, there's probably 10 places I can go shoot a 3D multiple times a week. So we have a lot of archery in that aspect. And then as far as shops, I have 2 within 15 minutes of my house. One is where I've been training performance archery. They have a great 20-yard indoor range. I don't know if they have a league night. They definitely should if they don't. And they may. I just might not know. But that's where I did all my training for this, or for Vegas. And then Bow and Arrow Shop is a shop I go to for my bow stuff. They only have like 6-yard range, but it's a really good shop. And then there's one called Willow Creek Archery that's about probably maybe an hour, and they do have a league night. So I should probably start going to that when I'm home and getting a little more experience. So
John, who do we know that's that far down there?
So I think from like an
an
archery perspective, as far as having opportunity to shoot a lot and year round, it's tough to beat where we're at. Like, I mean, there's just
I
a
wouldn't have
lot
guessed that.
of
That's
it.
cool.
And people wouldn't think that, right? But there's a lot of
Yeah.
people here. A lot of people are into hunting. A lot of people are into archery. So that's pretty cool. But jumping back real quick to the Bale thing, I do have two little stories that I want to hit from Vegas, and both took place on day 3. So day 3, we get moved to the big show. You know, me and Elliot
Yeah.
both get moved to the main stage, right?
Yeah.
And I think we're only shooting like 20 bales apart. So he's like in the middle, and I'm
I
kind of
was on
down on,
22.
and I was on 5. So I'm down on the
Okay.
left end. He's sort of in the middle.
He was
And
over by Waka.
yeah, right next door. Yep. I didn't know who that was till I saw, I think, your post, and then I was like, okay, yeah, I saw that guy. I
Yeah,
actually
he's a
saw
good
him.
dude. He's from down in your neck of the woods, actually, a little bit.
Okay, cool.
Or LA.
So dude, we show up, and each day I had a different set of filmers. So the first day I had Ty Jordan and running
Mm-hmm.
my DSLR camera, and Brianna running my camcorder off a tripod, getting the over the shoulder shots. The second day, my buddy David ran the DSLR, Brianna ran the camcorder, Ty ran another DSLR for like vertical short form content. And then the third day, David had left. Ty got caught up in traffic, so he didn't show up till after I'd shot. So Brianna was going to run both cameras, the camcorder and the DSLR. And it was probably 15 minutes before shoot time, before practice ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brianna whips the tripod out of the backpack and just sets it in like the aisle. And bro, nothing's happening yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some lady sitting right there was like, "Don't you set that goddamn tripod right there, like it's right in the way." And she's like, "Yo, yo, yo, like I'm just literally just getting it out the backpack to get set up." And she's
Right.
like, "You can't have that, like you can't have a spotting scope." And she's like, "Well, first of all, it's not a spotting scope, okay? It's a
It's
small
clearly a
camera.
camera.
And second of all, there's already someone with a tripod with a spotting scope that you're not saying shit to right there.
Yeah.
Why are you tapping my ass?" And I'm like trying to get ready to shoot, and I hear this commotion. This lady's cussing at her, being so mean, just this old
Oh,
Karen. And
no
I'm like,
way.
yeah. So I walk back there, and I'm like, what is happening? And Brianna's like, this lady's just being so unpleasant. Brianna's like, bro, dude, Brianna will pop on people. Me, not really, you know. So I hear this commotion going on, and I'm like, what is happening? She's like, this lady, she points to her. She goes, this lady just being mean. This lady's like snipping at her. And I'm like, hell, yo, chill to the lady, right? And I go to the bathroom. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to engage in that because like I got to shoot in like 10 minutes. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I go to the bathroom. I'm hanging a piss. And as I'm hanging a piss, I'm like, if I get back there and that lady is still being a dick to everybody, and no one's on her side. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
nobody's on her side. I'm like, if I go
Mm-hmm.
back there and that lady's being a dick, I'm gonna film her on the phone and put it on our Instagram and say, this is what you shouldn't be like at an indoor. And
Yeah.
she would have got
Blasted.
destroyed, right? Thankfully, when I got back, had piped down a little bit, but you could tell she was still like so sour, bro. And this is where it gets funny. So at this point, the shoot starts, right?
Yeah.
And every shoot we were doing this weekend, I would post, here's where we're going to be, here's what
Yeah.
time. And it would turn into a party, bro. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like people would show up, have drinks, like it was lit, but people loved it. All the shooters loved it. Like the audience loved it, except this one lady. I'm like, dude, she's going to really hate us when, when the people show up.
You're right.
So people start pouring in, right? And standing right in the black. Cause I'm not the type, I'm not like, as you know, like I was talking to you when you were shooting, like that's how I want to be.
Yeah.
I'm chatting with people on the Bale. I'm talking to
Yeah.
people in the audience because I think the more I can just do what I do shooting normally, the better I'm going to perform than if I'm like
Same.
super tense. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. For
Dude,
sure.
she's like, sit down, everyone get down in front. And then like, dude, like I had like 3 or 4 pros come to watch. Fucking Paige is watching, dude. And this lady, so Paige shows up and she's watching, standing right behind. And she's like, she was mean to everybody, right? And when Paige shows up, she goes, ma'am, will you please sit down in front? Like, so nice to her, and I'm
Oh.
like, "Girl, you are trash, bro, this lady." And then her daughter was
Paige and her
shooting, like
mom were down there, weren't they?
yeah, Paige watched, her mom watched, like, she shoots X's. We probably had 15, 20 people watching. A Hoyt pro, all sorts of people. So that was really funny, right? I'm like, dude, it couldn't have worked out better. But it was just funny how she treats some people one way and then some
Yeah.
people one way. And I said out loud at one point, I go, I guess this lady must just not like YouTube. You know? Yeah. So that was pretty funny. But anyway, it fizzled out, and her daughter was shooting in my flight. She was like right next to me, and I smoked her, so I was happy about that. Uh you know, and then another time, dude,
It's the
I'm in a
small victories. It's the small
it's a
victories
small
that
victory,
matter.
right? Of course. So I'm shooting, right? And I'm in a draw at one point, and all weekend I wasn't thinking about it this weekend, but like coming up to it, I'm like, I wonder if people ever get like bumped by the guy next to him while they're shooting, you know? And
Oh, yeah.
this kid, when I showed up, he was real nervous. I could tell he was so nervous. And when showed up, he's like, dude, like me and my cousin are huge fans. Like, is it cool if I get a picture with you? Like, when we're done? And I was like, yeah, of course. Like that sounds good. Let's have some fun. So we shooting him, dude. It was like round 3. I'm in a draw, right? And I feel his like V bars brush through my arrows on my arrow quiver, and I'm still in
Oh,
a
yeah.
draw, and I'm like, I pipe a X, right? I don't even let down. I just like let it settle and shoot a X, bro. And I'm like, hey, I was like, bro, you kind of bumped me a little. It's in the video. I'm just like, hey, man, you
Yeah.
kind of bumped me a little. And he's like, oh, dude, I'm so sorry. I'm so nervous. I'm like, dude, it's all good. It happens. And then probably 3 rounds later, I'm in a draw, and I mean, I get walloped by him, right? Like, so smashed through the arrows, and I'm like, "Whew." It was my only letdown. I let that one down. I'm like, I kind of look at him like this, and I draw back, and I pipe a X. But I was very cool about it. You could see it in the video, but
Yeah.
um, I watched the footage back, and he was so nervous that he stepped back and kind of set his bow down on the bar, and his whole bow swung and just smoked my back. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Oh, right.
his entire riser. And I was like, dude, it's all good. Don't worry about it. We got to just have some fun, one arrow at a time. It's not a big deal, you know? And at the end of the night, the other 2 guys the other guy on the Bale right to my right, he was like, "Hey, is it cool if I grab a picture?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." So we take a picture, and then I take a picture with one of the other guys that wanted one, and then I go, "Hey, buddy, do you still want to grab that picture?" He's like, "Yeah, I just thought you were really mad at me, so I didn't want to ask." I'm like, "Bro, no, no." I'm like, "Get in here, bro." I felt so bad, but yeah. So now I know what
V-bars
that's
kind of
like.
suck for that shit, man. V-bars are cool, but they can be a fucking hindrance.
No, they're
Yeah.
not. Don't listen to Heather Gore. They're fine.
Yeah,
So he did.
I stopped using them for that reason. I bumped my own. I can't get through a doorway with the damn things, let alone touch other
So
people.
it wasn't my
facts.
bow. It was always my like my hip quiver. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh, I thought you said
my
he
bow.
had V-bars that got you.
I don't know if he had V bars or just one.
Oh, I
I can't
heard it wrong.
remember. But one time it was his bar, like coming like setting back, and he kind of backed up. It's on tape, so you see it. And then the other time he literally just like his bow like pivoted and just like hit the top cam like into me. But I was
Oh
like,
shit.
that was a good lesson for me too as a noob, you know, like, okay, this does happen.
Oh yeah.
And for the most part, unless the timing is terrible and they hit you right when the shot breaks, as long as you got some mental fortitude, you can handle it. But it did have me wondering in my head, I'm like, what if he had hit me right when the shot broke? I'm like, would I be allowed to talk to a judge or something, be like, hey, unfortunately, he hit me right when I shot. We have it on tape. Like, can
Well,
I
at least
do
you
it
would have that
again?
backup. Most people wouldn't.
Like, are you allowed to do
Yeah,
that? Like, you guys would know better than me.
I don't know the rules, John.
I don't think it. Yeah, I don't think you would be given any
I wonder if
leeway
you had a
on that.
witness. If you could.
That's what
The
I'm
thing
saying. Like,
is,
yeah, if you had a witness.
you have a lot going for your case. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
you just
Yeah.
review
But
the play.
Yeah.
the the problem that I see is for everyone else when they shoot a 9 and they say, well, he bumped me when I shot that 9.
Yeah. Like
If you have a witness, maybe you could.
You would need a witness or like video proof. Like I feel like, but I don't know the rules. It'd be curious to read the rule book and see, because I'm like, dude, have gone a little
Paige
bit
knows.
different. Yeah, Paige would probably know. Yeah. So, but that was the only time I got hit, and unfortunately, it was the same kid twice. But he was so nervous. I felt so bad for him. I felt bad for him. Yeah, but he was a cool kid. I think he was from Canada, if I remember right. So shout out to him. He was a cool kid. But yeah, those are my two.
Tight on those lines, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. So what I did after he hit me the second time, I was like, okay, I need to stand like as far forward towards the other guy as I can. But that dude was a lefty, so we're like face to face,
nut to
me
nut.
and him. And I shoot really slow, right? I watch the timer and I like really use the time, so I don't even draw the third arrow till about 30 seconds left.
Oh, you're a psycho.
So that kid would shoot fast, right? And he would back out after about my second arrow. So when he would back out, I would like then back up to the end of the line.
Oh,
so I would move from the front of the box for the first two to like the back of the box. But just little stuff like that do an indoor that you can't learn until you're at an event.
Until you do it.
Yeah. So I thought that was neat for me to experience.
So for anybody that's going to go and do it, definitely run a couple nights through your local league if you have the ability, just to get the feeling for how tight the lanes are and that kind of shit. Because dude. So my son shot for the first time, and him and I've been practicing in the shop, and we shoot through a literal doorway, just a man door. So we have to stand pretty tight, and it mimics the lanes pretty well. But he hits me with his fucking stabilizer all the time. And I keep telling him, like, buddy, you're not going to be able to get away with that shit with just anybody. Like, that might turn somebody off pretty quick. So you got to be super mindful. And luckily, he watched the clock. He didn't draw back when he shouldn't, except for one time, but they fucked the clock up. But he was on it pretty well. But I'm not joking. I was more nervous watching him than I was myself. Like, I paced for it. That shit, let me tell you, the Cubs, that took almost 2.5 hours, where we were an hour and 40 minutes. So I'm just pacing back and forth, just making sure everything goes smooth. He's scoring properly. He's only 8, but I tell you what, like, I think that helped too. Like, having my mental tank drained from all the just anxiety and then going to shoot after that. Like, I was pretty chill for the most part. That might have helped a little bit.
I have an answer.
Okay. Oh, you look up the rules?
Yeah, the rules state that interference is not allowed from other archers either. So he would be given a viable option to. It's not allowed to come up.
So you can. Okay. All right. To me that makes sense. I mean, dude, if someone like I said, if it had the timing have been a little bit different, and I shank a 7 that I haven't shot outside the yellow the whole weekend, it's like, yo, like,
yeah.
The rules are written in a way that's like arbitrary or elusive. There's a word that I'm just not remembering off the top of my head. Ambiguous, maybe vague, ambiguous,
vague,
but
vague
it does
word,
it does.
That's the only one I know that he's spouted off so far.
It does specifically state that by no other individual either. So yes, Rule 6.5 in the shooting rules for NFA.
Look at that.
So
there you go.
But
hey, can I slam a piss real quick? Is there a way to pause this?
No,
just run.
Yeah,
okay,
just go. I'm gonna hit it.
I'll
do your thing. You're good.
I have a tiny bladder, boys.
To go back to what he's saying, like, maybe it's just my mentality and being on the board with outlaws and everything, where it's like, what happens when people try and miss or abuse the rules, right?
Sure.
I think it's fair though, like 100%.
I do too.
I think it's 100%.
I would
fair.
definitely been looking to do it if it happened to me.
I remember the first time you won the Bay Area Open. I don't know if you remember this, But
guarantee I don't.
Jim Padilla was like,
oh, Jim.
no, he did. Just wait. Jim Padilla was like,
dude, you're quick.
He started, Jesus Christ.
I had a lot of
small
pressure,
bladder.
bro. Oh,
Just
dude,
grab that bladder and wring it out.
Oh my God, bro. I pee a lot and I drink a lot of fluids. Like I always say this, like I'm a drinker. So it doesn't matter if it's water, soda, energy drinks, mostly water. I drink a ton of water. Or if it's beers, like if there's a beverage in front of me, I drink a lot of fluids. You know what I mean? So it runs through me.
My kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I was telling Elliot is, so I'm on the board of the Outlaws, which I'll get to a little bit later. And so one of the things that comes up often is people misappropriating, misusing rules, right, to their advantage. And so in that specific situation where someone bumps you, like 100%, I agree, you should be allowed to reshoot it, and you should be given the opportunity to, make a good shot. I believe that 100%. However, my mentality goes to the other 199 people on your bail that don't have 5 cameras on them to be able to say, hey, this happened definitively. I can show you, and they missed a 9, or they choked and collapsed and shot a 0 or whatever it is. And how do you
I would imagine,
ensure-
though, if you were just like, hey, just like when you have a pass through on a target, if you have a witness, you're good. You know what I mean?
No, you don't. That's not a rule.
What?
Yeah.
Well,
Don't bring that up.
anytime-
I don't want to get into that. We've dealt with it in the Outlaws this year specifically.
We do it at Reading because we get pass throughs at Reading every
It's
single
not an
year.
NFA rule. It's not an NFA rule at all. Not even.
Really? What do you do?
What I think's unfortunate
You're
about
supposed
that,
to go
though-
back and reshoot it.
Okay, so you get to reshoot
Yeah,
it. That's what I'm getting at.
reshoot it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is what it should be. You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying he gets a certain score or anything. I'm saying he just gets
No.
a chance to do it over. He should. And
yeah.
you can't.
No, yeah.
I would imagine, though, if you said, "Hey, fucking, he hit me," and nobody else saw it, and that might be you looking sketchy, and I don't think you ought to get to. But if you have somebody on your bail that can say, "Yeah, no, he got hit. I saw it,"
Or even
like, that should
or
be
even,
enough.
or even the person that hits you goes, "Yeah, I did. I hit him." You know
Yeah,
what I
they
mean?
should.
Like,
They should be your first
They
fucking
should.
witness.
Yeah.
and they probably
yeah.
were. It's like if I were to
Yeah,
have,
I would
like,
imagine.
say I had shanked a 7 or something, I think if I would have raised my hand and brought over a judge and be like, "Hey, unfortunately, he hit me right when the shot went off. I shot a 7." He would have gone, "Yeah, I did. I bumped him." And I think they
Yeah.
would have, like,
Yeah.
and you're right, to your point. Not everyone has a team of filmers. Like I do get that, but
Yeah.
at the same time, you do have the honesty of the people on your bail. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
or the guy
Yeah.
next to you, and I think or girl, and I think more often than not, people are gonna be honest. You know, I would say.
Yeah.
I would agree. Yeah, no, I think in the situation that you explained, I would agree. I think 99% plus are gonna, if that individual bumps you, they're gonna take ownership for it. Like we do have an awesome community. Like this sport does breed, discipline and quality characteristics, and that you can take not just for hunting and stuff, but into your daily life. Just be a little bit more accountable for your actions and the things that you do. Like it does transfer over. And so I think you would be more than well met with people taking accountability and just saying, yeah, this happened, and moving forward. So,
You guys
and
catch
plus it's never, 100%.
Yeah,
It's never anyone's, they're not trying to bump you. I've never, I've
No.
never
Well, the thing is, too,
encountered
at
that.
Vegas, like, you don't know anybody either. Like, you're all there kind of just. It'd be one thing if you had another shady partner or some shit who's like, "Yeah, you got bumped, buddy. Yeah, for sure, that's what it was." Like, you don't have that. You don't have a partner there. You don't have, most of the time, you don't know any of these people. And I think you're actually probably better off to have just more honesty.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Yeah,
Anyway.
I agree. But yeah, that was just that was one of the more interesting days that we had, just with the situation with the lady and then getting bumped a couple of times. But like I said, I piked both those shots, and when I finally shot a 9 on round 9, it was just It was a good shot, and it just missed, just barely out left. I probably should have got a judge. I didn't. And then my very last shot, I friggin' just friggin' almost shot it in the red, you know. And Brianna was like, dude, she was like, if you would have shot a 10 on the last arrow, she's like, you would have got third in your flight. Instead, I got bumped down to sixth, but I still came up from 18th to 6th, so I was really happy about
Dude,
that.
that's
I
solid,
shot,
man. That's way solid.
yeah, 298. Yeah, it was my best day. So I got better every day. So I was happy about that.
Did you guys experience any like I don't know, 20-foot flyers in the wall behind the bales?
Yeah, there was a couple
I
for
didn't.
sure. But they were all like, they were never like right next to me. They were always like, because so the first 2 days I was on the far right, the very far right side of the building, and some happened like way down to the left each day.
Yeah.
And then the last day, when me and Elliot were in the same room, none happened. But someone did shoot the wrong target that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John, did I tell you what happened to me on my last target?
No.
I didn't give you the story?
Nope.
Dude, I was freaking rolling, dude. I was shooting Wyatt's release. I don't know if you caught that in my story or not.
No,
he dropped it.
Really glad I set you up with those SX3s.
You know what? You did, and I appreciate it. And everything was going really good. And I shit you not, me and Wyatt went to practice, and
you were using a wrist strap?
No, Wyatt has a sweet spot.
Oh, okay. I did see that.
Back and forth. He dropped it. It fell out of his quiver, and one of the kids, like a 10-year-old on his Bale, walks up and hands it to him. And I'm like, "You little shit! You put that in your pocket." You know, I was like, "You know what? Hand it to me. We don't want to lose that." He almost did. So I had it in my pocket. We went to practice, and it was sitting in my left pocket. And I was like, "You know what? I just want to feel it." And I shot like 12 X's in a row with that thing. And I looked at him. I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna roll it." And I did. I rolled it for 2 days. And it was just, I don't know if it was new shit syndrome or what, but it was moving, man. I was loading my third arrow with 80 seconds left and like forcing myself to take a breather, you know, but things were just, I felt good on Sunday. And, so like he said, we moved to the big ballroom on Sunday. So we got to shoot those Reinhardts instead of the bag targets that we've been shooting all week. And that was cool. The lighting was better. But you get target guts on them carbon arrows.
Mm-hmm.
And not all the time, but sometimes. And I draw back my third arrow. Granted, I got a little time, and I feel it chatter across my wrist. And I was like, ooh, I got some shit on that arrow. I was like, I got time. So I let down and I reach forward and I'm scratching it off with my thumb, and I get some of it off. I'm like, all right, I got to get this thing off here. So I draw back again, and it does it again. I'm like, shit, I didn't go like far enough down the shaft or something. And now I'm like, you know, I had more time. I could have done it again if I had if I was thinking clearly in the moment, not kind of half panicking. I would have just pocketed it and grabbed another arrow.
Yeah,
that would have been the smart move.
That was like my first thought.
I know, but I was so calm and just like everything was rolling. I'm not going to freak out or panic. I just like, oh, I'll scratch it. I'll get it. It was the only letdown of the whole weekend. Anyway, I drew it back and I said, it probably is not going to be that big of a deal. It happens to me at the house here. I have some guts on the arrow, and it does go tall. 70% of the time. Fucking straight tall 8. Inside out 8. And it was, dude, I'm not one for making excuses. I have no problem saying the other 2 points that I missed, the other 299s 2 days prior, that was nerves. Shitty shots, being nerves. I piped that fucking X, dude. To the point where when I saw it hit, I went, it must be kicked, because those arrows were kicking really bad on that target. And I wasn't even that tripping about it. I looked back at Jess, and she looked at me. I was like, okay, maybe I got something to worry about. I went and grabbed the binos, and sure as shit, dude, inside out 8. It wasn't inside out. It was like an 1/8 inch into the red, too much. Fuck, dude, that was going to be the easiest 300 of the whole career.
God damn. That sucks.
Fun fact, that story made it into our third day finals video.
I saw it when we were having beers.
Yeah. But that sucks.
That
dude.
was a bummer, dude.
Yeah.
That was like, that's the only because like, if it was a nervous shot that got me, I could be like, yep, I just a shitty mental shot. I fucked up. That I can accept. I know that feeling all too well. But it's almost like you feel like you misset your sight or something. It was just a dumbass mistake that could have been avoided. And like you said, I went from 10th, would have had 10th outright and got the whole check to myself. Instead, I'm split at 4 ways with Sean Elza and a couple others in 22nd.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, whatever. First flight, it was a good time.
I was dealing with something somewhat similar on Saturday and Sunday this past weekend myself.
What
It's funny.
was this weekend?
Nothing.
Oh, I thought it was a shoot.
No. So Saturday I had some lessons in the morning, so I got up a little extra early, went out to Maya, and I mean, if I hold the bow and shoot the bow as good as I was shooting on Saturday, I could be something. I'm not saying like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying Bodie level, but goddamn, I was hammering, and my mark just keeps getting lower and lower, and I'm giving it clicks and clicks and clicks, and I'm shooting at 60, and my mark's supposed to be 47.80, and I'm all the way up at 48.90.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I keep giving it clicks, and it just keeps getting lower, and I'm piling them in at tweener at 6. And I'm like, I'm making good shots. I know, like, when you make a good shot.
Yeah.
And I have
Oh, yeah.
9 out of my 12 arrows inside of a quarter at 6 o'clock X, or 6 o'clock tweener. And so on my last 2, I go, you know what? I'm just going to break it tall and see what happens. So I break it right as I'm coming into the dot, break it early just to see what happens. They stuff both of them right inside that tweener at 6. And I'm like, this is nonsense. This is bullshit. I'm done. I'm leaving. I'm going to give my lessons. I'm done. I'll deal with it tomorrow. Because me, Randy, Steve Morgan, one of the guys from the shop, Nick Stouter, and Randy's buddy, we were all planning on going up to Nevada City to shoot. And so I was like, fuck it. I'll deal with it tomorrow. It's no big deal. It's clearly me, I'm screwing up somehow. So we get up there and I'm like, okay, I know that my mark has not been hitting. I'm going to set my mark for what it's supposed to be and shoot one at 60. I make my first arrow of the day, the best shot a human can make, pin parked, no movement, poop, and it's a foot low.
Nice.
Like a foot low of the dot. And
that feels good.
I lose my shit for like 30 seconds. I'm like, because I told Randy, I said, this is what I'm dealing with. I was texting Doug about it all day yesterday. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, maybe my lens is moving and it's moving the dot around. And so I have a freak out moment for like 30 seconds. And I'm like, no, I'll shoot another one. I go to load an arrow. I look at my blade. The blade is flat on my riser.
Oh.
I'm like, oh my God, the pitch is loose and my blade has been lowering. I touch, not the blade. I touch the rest and the blade snaps off.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, whew, thank God.
At least it's that.
Oh, at least it's just that. I'm not going crazy. I replace it. I put the next one in. Boom, break it. It lands 12 o'clock X. And I'm like, perfect.
Here we go.
It's a few clicks tall. I need to go resight it. But it's super impressed. Randy's like, that rest is so sweet. Like, you just threw a new blade on and just you can hit the middle.
No tuning, no
and
nothing.
I dropped 3 points all day. And
Nice.
with that, I didn't change my number or anything. And I was just like, but I had that same kind of thing where I'm like, dude, I am losing my mind over the fact that every time I give it clicks, it gets lower and lower and lower.
Yeah.
Gotta have a drop weight.
Oh, I got a question. James, what is your hunting arrow weight?
Boy, that was a turn of events.
So usually
it'll mesh.
Yeah, usually between 405 and 430. Yeah, and I use that
so
for
on the
everything.
heavy side.
Yeah.
So your 430 arrow is 34 grains lighter than my target arrow.
Yeah. My target.
That is
So
a beastly target arrow.
My outdoor target arrow is right at 407. My outdoor arrow, and then my indoor, I want to say it was 550.
Nah, that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Indoor doesn't. Yeah,
200
indoor
grain point?
weight don't matter.
200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What rest are you shooting?
Well, I'm shooting a ripcord ratchet, just a hunting fall away this year. But one of the changes I'm going to make now that I have this event behind me is switch to a different rest. And then I'm going to switch. I have the big UV scope, like the hunting one, and I'm going to switch to the smaller one because I notice most target guys use a smaller one. So I'm gonna switch the rest, switch the scope, and then kind of go from there. But that's what I'm running.
Part of that switching scope, you might want to consider just like what power you're going to run. What power do you run outdoor for your target setup?
So outdoor I run 4, and then indoor I run 8. Yeah.
So like for me, I run an 8 for both, and for outdoor I need that 40 millimeter housing so that I can get the field of view. Because if I tried the 29 mil Shrewd Optum on the 8 power, unless you come perfectly down into the dot, you're never gonna find it. There's just not enough field of view, and so.
But that also will fuck you on clearance at long distance, possibly.
If you have that issue. What's your draw length?
29.5. Yeah, and my outdoor is 70. So it's piping pretty solid. So I'm in the middle of this Arizona Triple Crown Buckle series right now. It's 4 stops and 3 scores count, and you drop 1 if you do all 4. I can only do 3, so I shot. It's 40 targets, and you're shooting 12s, 10s, 8s, 5s. And the first stop I was at 405, so up 5 for first. And then I missed the second stop, went to the third, and I shot a 446, so up 46 for first. Damn. So I'm going into the last stop up 18, and that's not this weekend, but next weekend. So I can't wait. I'm itching to get out there. But that dude, I'm feeling.
Oh, is that is that in Oklahoma?
No. Oklahoma's the weekend after. So we're doing TAC Oklahoma the weekend after that. So I go to Arizona, come back for 1 day, fly to Tennessee to film with MFJJ. Then we drive together to Oklahoma, shoot that TAC, come back for 1 day. And then, or no, you know what? We might be back for a bit after that, I think. And then I think we go to Redding after Oklahoma. So
hell yeah.
I'm excited for
You're
that.
Gonna like Redding, dude.
I didn't know it was like, I guess, sold out, but I'm gonna shoot with a vendor group, Victory Archery. So I'm gonna shoot with Victory. So thankfully I didn't know it's sold out. But yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, dude, you're gonna freaking dig that, man. That's a fun shoot.
You have no time to do like maybe Fresno Safari, if I heard that correctly.
Doesn't sound.
I would have to know what the
weekend
dates
before.
Are.
The weekend before Redding, the 25th and the 26th, I believe.
Maybe I'd have to look at my calendar, but our year is pretty booked out. But maybe, I mean, I would love to.
Come up and play.
Outdoor is my bread and butter. You know what I mean? That's where I'm comfortable. So, or in what I do more so. So
Fresno's I don't know how far Fresno is from you. It can't be that far, but it's a awesome course. It's been around for like 60 something years.
This is the 60th anniversary.
60th?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a good just a good confidence builder right before Redding.
Fresno Safari was Redding before Redding was a national event.
Back before
Fresno
we were
Safari, Fresno Safari used to be, they used to have 1,500 people go out there every year.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was a big, big event. And I mean, we got some cool people that shoot on our team that they got an old cafeteria situation, and there's plaques and trophies, and we got some old timers on our team that going back to recurve, and they shot a 1285 with a recurve out of 1320. So it's
That's
like you
crazy.
go
It's
in
got
there,
some
you
cool
see,
history to it for sure, and it's
yeah,
like it's really neat. It's near like the Sequoia National Park, so you can like run up the road afterwards and hit that. And like it's just a really cool part of the state too. Like I kind of wish we were going, but too many trips to Fresno. Fuck that.
yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna,
back
you
to
know,
back.
I'm gonna check the calendar, and if we can slot it in, maybe just do one road trip, and I'll try to film with some people
Just
in between or something. So I'll
yeah,
just have
dude.
to look after this because I know the Arizona tournament I'm doing is the 11th and 12th, and then I can see on the calendar Oklahoma Tack is April 17th to 19th, and I don't
Oh,
think
you're
we have
good.
anything the weekend after, which, if I'm not mistaken, is when that is, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, if you
maybe.
can.
Yeah, I would love to. Can you just
Dude,
sign up, or do you got to pre-register,
Yeah.
or what's the deal?
you
If you
can.
pre-register, you save like $15. It's like
Oh,
$40 versus 55. But if you
okay,
show
cool.
up, we'd love to have you come and shoot the Outlaws and be on one of our Outlaws bales, and I'd be more than happy to get you set up with a partner. I already got one in mind if you want one.
Oh, is it a
So
team shoot?
you can do
So you
team
can do
money
the
shoot.
club thing, but the outlaw thing that we kind of do piggybacks off of that and does kind of a side tournament. Like you still pay the club and you still shoot all their targets, but and it's a 2-day event, by the way. It's Saturday, Sunday. Um,
But you can
eh,
camp on the range. So if you
Oh,
have a
sick.
setup,
Yeah,
you don't need if you have a setup for traveling and whatnot, you don't necessarily need to go out and get a hotel. You can camp on the range. And that's
yeah.
where half the fun is anyways. So
Oh, yeah, dude. Camping makes all the difference. Like, we do an event every year, our own event, Bow-Disciples Challenge. It's a year.
oh yeah,
It's our fourth year this year. Last year we had 331 shooters from probably 20 states. And
that's
then
wild.
this year, so we got Reading, and then come back from that, and 2 weeks later is our event. So it'll be crunch time getting everything ready. It's 3 days this year too. In the past, it's been two. So added a day, and what makes it the best, like you said, is camping, because the campground's right there by the range.
Yeah.
And if you come and just shoot,
mhm,
it's fun, but it's the best if you come camp and shoot.
yeah.
So I know what you're
Yeah.
saying, that there is something special about just like
You
shooting and
just
then
walk.
hanging.
Yep.
Yeah. Cooking some food, having some beers. Like
It's
that's where it's
crazy.
at.
This is the first year that I'm not going to be camping at the event. So,
Dude,
Yeah.
um,
I would love to come and do that Bow Disciples thing, and maybe I'll try to pencil it in next year, but
yeah, where's
that
it at? Give us some details.
yeah, plug it.
Yeah, so it's in Lake Henshaw, California. So San Diego County, it's about an hour from the San Diego airport. So for people that fly in, super easy, rent a car, buzz out there. And there's like I said, camping, tons of camping. It's first come, first serve for camping. The campground doesn't fill up. It's huge. And then there's, I think, 19 cabins that you can pre-reserve, and they're only about 90
Oh,
bucks
sick.
a night. But those, when I went up there to scout courses a couple weeks ago, already 9 of 17 were sold out for our shoot. So it's probably about
Nice.
sold out on those now. But um, yeah, dude, it's dope. It's a lot of work for sure.
Is it kind?
But
Is it kind of like Attack, similar to
yeah,
Attack?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So very much like Attack. Shout out to Sean and all the guys at Attack. They're big inspiration behind it. But yeah, it's you get scorecards and everything, because I score everything I shoot. I
Sure.
love to score and be competitive and test myself, but you don't have to, like, you don't turn anything in. There's no trophies. It's just like you and your buddies bantering. But yeah, it's physical, fun. We got all Reinhardt targets, like big ranges, like physical test. Like it's just cool, man. And like you
How
said,
many targets?
camping. This year we have 415 target courses. In the past, it was
Nice.
320s. But this year we decided to shift it to 415s, because I shoot 3Ds all over, and I think that the perfect length of a course is 15 targets. I think 20 is really good. Once you're like 25 plus, it can get a little long. And I,
Mhm.
I think 15 is like a sweet spot, because you can go shoot in the
Yeah.
morning, bang 15, come back for lunch. If you're feeling good, go bang another 15. You're at 30 targets for the day. You know what I mean? Like, I just think it's perfect. And and a good time. So yeah, we're excited. It's crazy. Like each year, dude, like year one was like, whew, this is a tall task to build these courses, put it on. Year two, we upped the production a ton. Like that was crazy. And then last year was the biggest it ever was, but it felt like the workload actually decreased some because we had like such a good staff and we had done it twice and had it figured out. And then year four, I mean, thankfully, with our schedule being as busy as ever, um, so many of the lines we built, because it's all brush and trees and like you got to build in
Yeah.
lines, but a lot of them have stayed. It's all walking trails, so there's no pull and returns. Like it's an entire like walking trail, you know.
Uh-huh.
But this year I feel like is probably the least amount of work, but it's going to be the best version we've ever put on. It's just like a testament to anything in life that the more you do stuff and get uncomfortable and
Yeah.
learn and level up from it, that now your capacity's higher and you're going to produce better and more and faster. So yeah, we're super excited, for sure.
Shit, yeah, man. Wish I could
Yeah.
make it
That
down for
sounds
that. We got
awesome.
as soon as we get back from Reading, we have back-to-back weddings here at our house. We have a bit of a wedding venue, so I'm
Good.
gonna be booked for that. But next year, if I can swing it, that sounds like a freaking blast, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. You guys definitely should make it. If not this year, next year, because I'm telling you, I mean, I've shot 3D shoots all across the country and it when it comes to like a fun ranking, I think our event's like top of the heap. It's so much fun.
Hell
We
yeah.
got concerts, we got food trucks. This year we got a party
Oh,
too.
that's
Friday night, a
awesome.
concert, Saturday night, food trucks both
Oh,
nights.
no kidding.
Yeah, like it's a lot, it's a lot of production, but it's cool, man. And it feels so good. Like there's nothing that I've done other than maybe real estate deals in the past where like you put in so much work and then when it's over, it's like you're so like depleted, but in like such a calming way,
Right.
where like you just feel like, holy shit, we did it. And you're like so relaxed. It's like a weird feeling. But this year, unfortunately, we don't get to relax that much because the very next day we got to start a drive from San Diego all the way to Vermont Tack. We're driving all the way across the country. Yes. Yeah, it
Oh
sucks.
man.
Oh,
Yeah. So we're doing
damn
work.
it, dude.
So luckily we have a middle stop. So we're stopping in Illinois to do Working Class Bow Hunter podcast again. By the way, if you guys haven't heard their podcast, phenomenal. Those are good guys. Wild boys. So we're going to do that in Illinois and then go all the way to Vermont. And then we're going to do that road trip's going to last 5 weeks. So we'll be touring the
Holy
country for
shit.
5 weeks. Yeah. Filming,
Damn.
doing four tacks, filming, doing collabs. Like, dude, it's going to be sick, but it's going to be a ringer for sure.
Damn. Where is your guys' last stop?
The last stop is Michigan. So we're doing a Michigan
Oh,
tack,
damn.
but back-to-back weeks. So Michigan, there's two in Michigan. We're going to probably do both. And then from there start heading home. But basically we're trying to do it where tax are obviously on the weekend, right? So Friday through
Yeah.
Sunday for the most part. Pennsylvania is Thursday through Sunday because it's the biggest one. But basically between all these trips, we're trying to schedule in like, okay, we're gonna go film with this person at their
Yeah.
place or do this. So like basically we're gonna be friggin' filming and banging videos nonstop for 5 weeks.
Unreal.
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna be
That's
pumping
cool.
it. Yeah, but
Dude,
it's
do you do all the editing and all the post stuff yourself, or do you got somebody that does that?
yeah. So I do all the video editing. Brianna does all the photo editing. She does a lot of our sponsorship inquiries. She does all the graphics. Does a lot of the website stuff. Like me and her are a full blown team that do it full time and do all the production for every single part of the business, which is really four main arms. So we got like the content side and the ad revenue. And then we got our website, Bow-Disciples.com, that has merch, archery products, our event tickets. And then we got our sponsorships. And then we have our affiliate links, which we only have one, Badlands Gear. Team
Mm-hmm.
BD, 20%, huge. maybe the biggest. So
Maybe the biggest.
maybe the biggest. So her and I run all of that stuff.
It might be the biggest I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
We don't know.
It could be huge. It's huge.
It could be huge.
but
It could be the biggest, the greatest deal we've ever had.
It is 20% is actually crazy. Like
Yeah,
I tell
no,
people
it's-
that, and I'm like, bro, that is great. I don't know why they let me do that, but yeah. So between her and I mean, we run a whole big thing, and it's like it's a lot. I mean, we're doing
Dude,
stuff all the
hey,
time, but
hats off to you, man. That is a freaking like I've done like dude, my YouTube's been going on for like almost 20 years. I used to do snowmobile films, right? You're into BMX and
oh
shit.
yeah,
Snowmobiling
love
was
that.
my jam before archery. And I wanted to do films like sled necks and all that shit. So I've got some like home built videos on my channel from a while ago, and like anything that has to do with editing and post stuff, like I love doing it, but it's a time suck for sure. So
Yeah.
dude, how you can kick out content at the
Yeah.
rate you're doing it, like
Yeah.
to me, honestly, dude, it sounds miserable to me, but like
Yeah.
you've obviously got it down to a point where it's not, or you
Yeah.
wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
But I mean, fuck, dude. Like, and I'll have to send you some links. I did like a little self film kind of thing with my cell phone last year, and I enjoyed the shit out of it. And really, I just wanted to show my son when I got home. But like, it made me kind of want to do it more because it kind of kept I have solo hunt primarily, so it kind of keeps me busy. But like, to do it any more than that, like it's just like fuck. There's cameras and there's angles and there's so much shit to it. I just like it's kind of daunting just because I've been there and done it with snowmobiling and shit back in the day. So my hat's off to you, man. That is not an easy task, especially at the rate that you're cranking shit out.
Yeah, thank you. And it sucks too. Like sometimes stuff happens, bro, that blows. Like for example,
Oh, you lost a podcast this weekend, didn't you?
more than that, buddy. So
Oh, really?
day one, we filmed an entire practice day that was a banger. Like it was such good shit. It was so good. And we filmed 2 podcasts. So one full video, 2 podcasts. I get back to the hotel room, and our goal was to do a video every single day on the YouTube channel the entire time we're in Vegas. So I get back. I have a brand new external drive. I put the footage on it, or Brianna moves the footage from the SD card to the external drive. So it's no longer on the SD card. It's only on the external drive. So I edit the video. I spend 2 hours and 10 minutes in the hotel when I would have loved to be out and about in Vegas, but I'm editing this video for 2 hours and 10 minutes, right? I go to export it. So I hit export and it's zipping right along. It's like 75%. And then Ty shows up and I see him in the parking lot. I'm like, yo, I'm going to come help you move your stuff up. And by the time I'm up, that video will be exported and I can upload it. So we go help him. I get back to the room and it says like error compiling the video on Premiere, which I've seen that before. Usually not a big deal. So I save again, hit export, and it's just like, it's not working. Like something's just like not going. And we're trying to figure it out. We're trying all sorts of different stuff. Me, Ty, Brianna, we're all trying different stuff. And then we realize somewhere along the line, we're like, something's wrong with this external drive. Like we can't access the footage anymore. It's all like it's gone. We don't have the footage. And as of now, all the footage is still gone. The drive won't fire up. It clogs any computer you stick it into. So I took it over to a file recovery place this morning. So we'll see. But not only did we temporarily lose 2 podcasts and a full video, but like what really burns is that I friggin' spent the time to edit all of it together into a banger and then it corrupted. So it was like, oh dude, it hurt. And I'm someone who like, I'm big on like my word, right? And I'm not egotistical enough to think the audience is waiting at home like, where's the video? Like people don't care about us that much. But like I had said the whole time, hey, we're gonna bang a video every single day. And then the very first day, we don't bang a video. And I'm like, dude, so I show up and
guy is full of shit, man.
Right. So I tell people on the store, I put up a reel and I was like, hey, here's what happened. It sucks, but and it wasn't like, again, I know people aren't sitting at home waiting, but it was more just so I could tell why something
Yeah.
wasn't up. And so I was like, here's what happened. So then me and Ty are like, all right, well, this sucks, but let's just go walk around the vendors tomorrow morning early. And we're going to
Yeah.
film a vlog walking around the vendors and we'll post that today. And then whatever, when we film Me Compete at 2:30, I can edit that tomorrow morning and put it up tomorrow. So we'll be like a day ahead.
Right.
So we literally went and just filmed a whole entire bonus video, like out of nowhere, because we had to get it up. So we did miss one day of uploads, but other than that, we uploaded.
Not bad.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all 3 days. Yeah. So I was proud of that, but yeah, it sucked.
Jesus.
It still
You gotta
sucks.
feed
So
that machine, huh?
normally we upload on Sundays. Sunday's a long form video. And then lately we have so much content that we've been doing Wednesdays and Sundays. But for me, it was just like a personal challenge. Like I want to bang these videos every single day. And like, it was cool, dude, because, like I said, I am super, super blessed to do like the coolest freaking career to me in the world that I could have. I'm so happy about it. But it was cool to me because when we went and filmed that vendor tour, I literally had Brianna bring a laptop, bring the external drive, bring my headphones into the vendor village while me and Ty are filming this. And I sat down at the Easton Archery booth that had
couch
couches
thing?
and stuff right in the middle of everybody. And I put my headphones on and I edited that sucker and uploaded it right where everyone could see. So it's like, if you want to do it, are you willing to do that?
Yeah.
That's the question, And obviously we were, but to me it was like kind of cool to like, I'm gonna edit this motherfucker right here. You know what I mean? Like it was cool. It was dope.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Yeah, we'll do it live.
Yeah,
shout out Bill O'Reilly. But yeah, that was cool. I'm still. We'll see.
That's cool,
I hope they recover that footage, dude. Because
I was
not even for me, bro. I'll tell you what really made me feel bad about it is like. So the video, I collaborated with this girl. She shoots X's, right? And I was like, hey, I really want to help you out. I like your content. I want to help give you a bigger platform. And she was in that video. We did it together with my buddy Towson, all three of us, right? And we're all in it. And then I do a podcast with her and then one with Towson. And we all spent so much time on it. So I don't feel I could care less. Like if I lose it, I mean, of course I want it out, but I feel gutted for her, especially because she's attempting to do content. And I know that's like, that would be like when I went and did like Cam Haines' podcast. If they hit me a week later and are like, yo, sorry.
Files corrupted.
The footage is corrupt. I would have been like, oh, dude, that sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what made me feel the worst was for her and Towson, more so than me. But hopefully we can.
He was the guy that sat with us during finals, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool dude.
Well, amazing hunter too. Like one of the best hunters.
I followed him today and I saw some big ass bulls. I was like, fuck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. I think he said he shot like 35 bulls with his bow. Something
Jesus
like that.
Christ.
Yeah. And he's only 34.
Damn. Where's he live?
Yeah. He lives in Wyoming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Land of promise.
Yeah.
Land of promise.
Damn.
Well, we've had a lot of fun topics here, but I have some topics from the listeners.
Okay. I like that.
I definitely want to ask some of these listener questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
Holy shit, I got some more since we've been on the podcast.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Let's start with the person who came in first. Damn it.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Am I getting
it's less of a question. I keep going into that strip club looking for stickers and all I got was an STD.
Yeah. Hey, you know who did find us a sticker this weekend in Vegas though? Was your boy.
Where
Yeah,
did you find that?
I went to Slam a Piss because we know I pee a lot. And right by the hand dryer was a goddamn sticker. I said, I gotta put this on the story.
Every
bro.
time I take a piss, I put one right on top of the sensor device, and then I put one right next to the sink or where the hand dryer was.
That was me. Yeah, that was the one I found. Yeah, and I was so happy about it. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I should just given you some. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking.
Oh,
But I like
man.
that you got it from the bathroom.
You can give me
Michael,
something ready.
Michael, if you want a sticker, I can't help you out with the STD issue.
Yeah,
but,
you probably
can. I know some good remedies, but hit up Elliot. We'll get you taken care
we'll mail
of.
you some. Somebody emailed or messaged me last week. I gotta put some in the mail for him. I gotta fucking remember that. Anyway, what's next?
This question I really like. And I think there's a couple avenues to go down it as well. So I'm gonna read it as it is and then let you respond, but also try and navigate through it. James, if you were to restart your archery platform from ground zero again, how would you do it?
That is a very good one.
Jeez.
Not a whole lot different than we did, other than I think I would have dialed in our audio a little bit sooner, so got the sound good.
You know how that goes.
Yeah. And then the main thing was, I think we tried to do too much different sort of avant-garde stuff early, like that wasn't in the archery or hunting niche. So like we were trying to vlog like, I was inspired by guys like Nelk Boys and like some of these. So we were like vlogging parties and stuff like in the beginning, and I was like, our stuff in the beginning was too scattered. It was too much of like a shotgun approach versus like very honed in. So I would say dial in the audio early and then really like figure out your niche and just like stick to that. Once we did that, made a huge difference of just like narrowing in on the niche. And I got to give a shout out to my boy, Tim Connor. He was the one, who gave me that tip. He called me one day and said, "Hey, I'm looking through your channel and the problem is your stuff is too all over the place. So like the algorithm doesn't know what to do with it because an archery video or a hunting video has a high click-through rate. It's getting good viewership. But then you put out something about like dieting and like no one's clicking that or watching it. And then when your next video comes out about archery, YouTube's kind of like, well, they didn't really mess with the last one, so maybe we won't show them this one either. And so those would be my two biggest tips or things I would have done different.
So to kind of elongate on that, when it comes to things like that, are you pretty particular or pretty precise with the way that you're releasing things so that the algorithm follows along? Or how for someone like myself who's not by any means pronounced and
what days
understanding
are we
any of
supposed to be
this.
posting this shit? What are the best?
Yeah. So like time you post or when really doesn't matter that much. Like in reality, like YouTube will even say that in the analytics. Like it'll say there's no proof that posting on a certain day or a certain time makes any difference in the long-term results of a video. I just like to do Wednesdays and Sundays to give myself a pace to like edit to. You know what I mean? It's more so I can produce to like a certain schedule, sort of. And then when we do something like we did in Vegas where it's like daily videos, that's more of like a personal challenge type thing. And I think like for an event, there is something to like being the first one to post. Like that does, I think, make a difference. Not that too many people
trying to stay relevant.
For sure. Yeah. Because an event a week from now is like no one's talking about it. So I think it's better to crank it right on top. But the main thing is really just sticking within your audience, right? Like for you guys in your podcast, it's an archery podcast, and that's what people come for. I mean, sure they like other portions of the podcast, But if you were to put out an entire podcast where the title was like, we're here talking about our experience of a new Subaru Legacy, it's like, it's not going to get clicked, and then it's going to do poorly. And then your next video that is about archery, it takes the algorithm a second to like go, well, I don't know if we should recommend this because the last one nobody clicked on and nobody watched. And it takes some time to go, oh, you know what? This is actually what their audience wants. So like that's where I think more importantly than a posting schedule is posting stuff within the same sphere, and then also posting consistently. That is important. Like, it don't matter if you're posting on Sundays or Fridays or Tuesdays, but you gotta be posting somewhat frequently too. Like, if you're posting once, or let's say you post weekly for a month, you do every Wednesday for a whole month, but then you take 2 months off and don't post anything. Bro, there's no better way to kill momentum than something like that. So I think we haven't missed a Sunday upload in probably 3 years. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Not one time. And we haven't missed a Wednesday in a long, long time. So I think the consistency and being there all of the time is important, because I think that I'm not a computer, but I think like the algorithm goes, hey, you know what? We can rely on this creator to show up.
Yeah.
Whereas like this one has been pretty hit or miss. You know what I'm saying? So
Gotcha.
I think those would be a few tips that I think are helpful if someone wants to try to make it happen.
This wasn't a question directly related to our podcast, but it does correlate in a way. So, and some of the things you said actually made me bring up or think of something. Specifically in the archery world, we had a guest on who, after the show, in a conversation behind the scenes, we were discussing, hey, like, some of the things off air that, we talk about and whatnot. And he goes, man, like, I was really hoping to come on and just bullshit, because
Are you
everyone
talking about
wants.
Matthias?
Damn it! I wasn't trying to rat anyone out, but like, yeah. He's like, yeah, like, I would love to come on a podcast and talk about, like, I love watching dart championships and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's still a professional archer, but it's less about how do you make your bow go bang and how do you shoot so good, and more about like the,
What do you do for fun?
interpersonal. Yeah.
So that is perfectly fine. In fact, I think people like that lifestyle stuff. It's more so about the title and how you craft it. It's like the title needs to somewhat reflect what the niche is. And even if, let's say the podcast with Matthias was 2 hours, right? And you spent 10 minutes talking about archery and an hour and 50 talking about something else, people are actually going to be more engaged probably by that stuff than the 10 minutes about archery, but you have to hook them first. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get them to click into it. So like, maybe you spend 5 minutes talking about, teach us your top 3 things about how to make your bow more forgiving. And he talks about that. And then the rest of the time you talk about movies and darts. Bro, I'm telling you, people are going to be very engaged in that, but they're going to click it because they want to know the top 3 ways to get their bow more forgiving. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I gotcha. I was just curious because it came to mind for us, because I really like the idea too of like getting a couple of some of the top tier pros together to just, let's not talk about archery and let's talk about what you guys are into outside of this, because obviously you have lives outside of shooting a bow. What are some of the things, and even the video that he sent me personally about like his favorite match for darts, like I watched it and I was amped up and stoked. And so it was like, I was like, dude, I feel what he's talking about.
It was one of those things, like, he's the number 1 ranked shooter in the world. And we obviously asked him, because we personally were like, how the fuck are you doing what you're doing, dude? Like, what are your secrets and shit? But that's the question he always gets. It's the same fucking question. And we had a really good conversation after we stopped recording, and I wish we hadn't, but it just the way it went, we just
Yeah.
bullshitting after the fact. It was like hella funny and interesting. It was just like getting to know the guy where most people hadn't gotten to. And
Yeah.
I know we all
If
talked about it afterwards, and we're like, we need to do more like the personal shit, and fucking who cares about how you tune your bow?
if I were to be like a producer of your podcast, I would say before you record with somebody, think about like a question that you can craft into a title, right? Like, so think of an archery question that you know people are going to click on, especially with whoever the guest you have is. And then be sure at some point to ask that question and get the answer. But the rest of the podcast can be a free for all. That would be my
Yeah.
suggestion, because then you're going to get people to click it and they're going to be engaged with all the content. Because I agree with you, that stuff is more engaging than hearing the same stuff he talks about everywhere else. But people are not going to click it if the title is like Matthias tells us his favorite music artist. Like, they're not going to click that. But if
Yeah.
you say, if
Yeah.
you lead with the title that they're going to click, they'll stay for his favorite music artist. That would be my tip.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Sounds good. Is there anything you would change, going back to the original question about your platform? Is there anything you would change, having been, almost 8 years out now, to the way that I guess your initial direction was, in the sense? Does that make sense as a question? Like,
Yeah.
since
Yeah.
doing this for so long, you've learned a lot.
Mm.
Is there anything that you would change to, if you were to go back and restart?
Yeah,
feel
like
like
I
that's the
said, just
same.
hone in on a niche a little bit earlier, like I said. But then the other thing would be I think that I probably could have taken it full time, maybe a year earlier than I did. It took Brianna kind of pushing me off the ledge to being like, hey, you can do it. Like, you can do it. You have the platform, you have the supporters. Like, we can do this like, this could be your thing. You don't have to sell houses anymore if you don't want.
Mhm.
And I probably could have done that like a year sooner. But to be honest, if it wasn't for her pushing me out the window and taking the shot, I probably wouldn't even do it now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would still be making
Yeah.
videos, but I wouldn't be doing it as my full-time thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even have taken a sponsor probably ever if it wasn't for her, because as a bike rider, you got to keep in mind, I was a pro bike rider when I was 18 to 21. I, I had a lot to learn, bro. I had a lot to learn, and I got very sour to biking at the end of my career. Kind of a sad story. I hated biking at the end. Absolutely hated biking. When I quit, I didn't touch a bike for like 5 years. And I
Really?
was really, really nervous that if I went the route of like committing and getting sponsorships and such, that I would start to hate archery and hunting, which I've loved my whole life. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I didn't want that. So I was like, I'm never going to go the sponsorship route. We'll go 100% independent. And we did for 6 years. Um, but now, with, being older and having more experience and just knowing the ways to navigate things, bro, I still love archery and hunting probably more than I ever have. And I grow to love it more each day. And I love my sponsors too. Like, I have no animosity towards any of my sponsors, not a single one. I love them all, and bro,
Mm-hmm.
last year, bro, I signed with Kawasaki, right? And I drove to a dealership
Oh,
and
that's
I
right.
drove off with a friggin' brand new side by side in the back of the trailer. Just drove in, picked it up, drove off, and I'm like, what is happening right now with my life? Like, this
Yeah.
seems insane. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I never would have believed that if you told me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so much of the stuff that we've accomplished since she pushed me off the ledge, I never would have believed it was true. I never would have believed I would have gone to Africa, right? I never would have believed we would have
Yeah.
signed with Kawasaki twice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just wouldn't have believed it. And to me, I tell everybody this. I'm like, look, you only have one shot at life. One of my favorite dudes to follow is Gary V, right? And he can be a little cringe, but I love Gary V. And so much of what he says is true. It's like, you gotta go for it. Like, we're all
Yeah.
gonna be dead soon, bro. All three of
Yeah.
us are a third of the way through our life, right? I could die tomorrow. And I
I'm
Yeah.
don't ever, I
probably
don't
closer to
ever,
half for me, but yeah.
but I don't ever want to think at any point in my life, like, I didn't try hard enough. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't take enough risk. I never want that. I would much rather go, you know what? I took risks and I sent it hard as shit the whole time, and I left it out there, bro. I left it out there. And Gary, he posts this all the time. He posts it probably once every 2 weeks, a post where it's like, it'll show a pair of shoes or a pair of boxing gloves or a pencil, and it'll show one that's perfect on the left, and it'll say talking about it. And then on the right, it'll show a super worn down, beat to shit pencil, and it says doing it.
Yeah.
I always want to be the beat down, worn pencil. And people ask us all the time, like, do you guys get worn out? Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
we get worn out. But guess what?
Yeah.
Would I rather do this and constantly be on the road and not sleep a lot sometimes and grind super, super hard and be craving being home for a week than, and again, not shitting on people that do this, but would I rather do that than sit in the office 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and
Yeah.
have 2 weeks off? 100%. And again, I'm not hating on that. That's great
Yeah.
if that's what you're into. That's just not for me. So for me, I always side on the side of I want to do more. I want to do more. And sometimes that can be a double-edged sword because
Sure.
anyone who knows me personally, like, just realistically, I probably go harder than anybody I know, and they would say that too. So I'm not like being arrogant. It's just like a personal trait I have where like I'm like always going, but I look at it like, okay, would I rather like constantly be doing production and see what I can do, or like taking time off and just sitting at home? Like, I love that too, but I
Right.
always side on the side of like, if it's time to go, I'm going. You know what I mean? Like, we're going, and I'll run to the end of time with that as long as my body is capable and my mind's capable. And that's one thing I respect a ton about Paige, right? Paige
Yeah.
is a star. Paige is a star, right? And I tell everybody that. I said, if Paige decided to do content as much as I am, she'd be the biggest.
Yeah.
100%. She'd be the biggest in the space out of everybody. And I really believe that. I know she would. She's her personality, killer. Talent,
Yeah.
killer. She's got it all. And dude, when me and Paige film together, bro, I wish people could be a fly on a wall because we will film for 12 hours a day and get up the
Yeah.
next day and film for 12 more hours. I was up there for a day and a half, and her and I filmed 7 full-length videos, half hour each. 7.
Jesus.
And not many people will do that. Like, and that's why I respect Paige so
Yeah,
much.
she's a workhorse.
Because usually when I film with people, not always, but like a lot of the time, it's like I have to kind of be like, "Do you guys want a break? Like, do we need to chill? Like, how you feeling?" With her, I feel like I got to keep up. And for me,
Yeah.
it's like that's why I love her so much and respect her so much, and why I think we've become such good friends is just because her and I are just very similar. But I know I'm kind of rambling, but the main point of it is like I always encourage people to go hard, bro. You got one chance.
Yep. No, that's good, man.
That's a good point.
And you're right. Paige is a freaking just a she's a great ambassador for the sport. I mean, she's got and the sport aside, she's got, rental houses and shit. Like, she's hustling constantly. I mean, she's got so many irons in the fire at any one fucking time. I don't know how. She's got to have 36 hours in her day somehow, where the rest have 24, But
Yep.
no, you're right. That's good stuff. Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what? That Brianna chick, you should marry her. She sounds cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But weddings are very expensive, but I know some people,
It's
so
got to
we'll
come
see what
north, man. We'll hook you up.
I
Yeah.
might. But yeah, man, I love that question because like you guys said how, Matthias wanted to talk about darts or whatever. what I get most fired up on podcasts is talking about business and grinding, because that's it.
Yeah.
There's no secret sauce. Like, do I think that maybe I'm blessed to be energetic and maybe more entertaining than some people? Yes, you have to be realistic. Like, some people have
Yeah.
different
Some
personality
people
traits than
can't do
others.
that.
Right. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that is a thing too, for sure. But the main secret sauce is just like
Is the work.
endless effort. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
That
think
gets a
that's
lot of pro archers, you know, like there's a lot of pros that are really fucking good and they're terrible about talking about it or just doing that part of it. And, you know, I know they battle that with sponsorships and shit, and where they're like, hey, you need to be posting a little bit more and all that kind of thing. And it's not their thing. They're just not that type of people. And you
Yeah.
are. And I think those are those types of people like shine in this space, you know?
I
Yeah.
also think personally being authentic to like you, and who you are is like, at least to me, like I feel like if I watch someone and it feels like they're not actually authentic to what they're saying, it just lands flat.
Yeah.
And like when you can tell someone's in the space, whether it's archery, darts, or whatever, and they're just enthusiastic about the thing that they're talking about, I feel like personally it goes a long way.
Yeah.
So, for sure. I mean, we did a podcast with Greg Poole when we were up there. And I respect Greg a lot, and he does a lot of he does the contracts at Beast, right? And
Hmm.
that is one of the companies we work with. And in the podcast, I asked him, "What's the biggest thing you look for as a guy signing people and deciding who to sign?" Right? And he said, "Number one is authenticity." To your point, if someone comes off as unauthentic or maybe forced, or like they maybe don't love archery that much, like, is this an
Yeah.
act just to for XYZ? Not doesn't come off the same as someone who you can tell just loves it.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
you're right about that. And then that doubles down to what Greg said, and he's the one making those decisions.
Yeah.
So moving on a touch, this one's specifically oriented to Elliot. What
Okay.
happened on your 4 points you dropped in Vegas?
Oh, that's
Oh,
perfect. So while you say this, because I have a small bladder, I'm gonna pee again and get another
yeah, go
pop.
for it.
Okay, and I'll
I'm
be right
getting
back.
close too.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think I already hit on
Wait,
that.
I wasn't finished.
Oh, yeah.
It's followed up by nice shooting, by the way. Congratulations.
Oh, well, thank you. 299s the first 2 days.
We obviously got into it a little bit, but
Yeah,
just summarize it for us.
those were just nerves, Vegas nerves. Tried my best to get rid of them, and shots just didn't land. I felt really good going into it. I had the longest string of 300s, like 25 plus X 300s the week prior. So I was like, I felt good. I felt like if I could land a 24 plus X 300, that would be normal for shooting at home, but Vegas doesn't land like that either. So the 99s were what they were. The 28 or the 98 was, I'm calling that target guts on the arrow. That was a freaking money shot, and I was blown away when I saw where it landed. Like the other ones, I knew there was a good chance they were going to be out, and they were. That one blew my mind. So yeah,
You said something earlier that stuck with me. You're like, yeah, it was my only letdown of the weekend. Sounded like you need to let down 2 other times.
you know.
As your shooting partner, I
So
feel like I can say that to you, but
I mean,
what elaborate on that.
probably those other 2 I could have let down, but like it would have been like draw back for 5 seconds and then let down. Like it wasn't
okay.
because of fatigue. Like I never run long. Like I always have 70 seconds left on the clock. It was just the pin was moving too much. One of I think it was the top middle target number 2, like that one, I could anchor on the 2 bottom ones, but the top one was just loose and I couldn't shake it. And the arrow went where it was. It wasn't because I ran long and I tried to force it and I should have let down. I didn't have a single one of those really all weekend. I did. I had one on Sunday, but it landed, so fuck it. Um, I remember thinking, "Ooh, that could have been bad," but I didn't. The shots were going in a timely manner, so I was super happy about that. But yeah, just typical shit luck, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear you there. I'll give you that.
What else you got?
Oh, okay. This is a fun one. James,
Yeah.
it's a very, very serious question.
Okay. I like
Do you
this.
take more pride in your stalking ability or your shooting ability?
Probably stalking. Yeah. I think I think that's what I'm best at doing, like probably in life. Even above bike riding, shooting, anything. You know, I think stalking animals I think is just like
Oh, animals. I thought we were talking about females.
yeah, yeah. But no, I would say spot and stalk stuff. Yeah. That's like I don't know.
That's a
I've
good one.
I've I've worked on it a long time. I mean, I've been hunting with a bow since I shot my first animal with a bow when I was 5, spot and stalk a
Holy
rabbit, you
crap.
know, and then
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Spot
And
stalked
then
a
yeah,
little
Poking young
cottontail.
rabbit.
cottontail, yep. And then ever since, you know, I mean, I've just always done it. I was raised at hunting in friggin' the desert and stalking big mule deer, and that's just I don't know. I think that's
Mule deer are the
what I'm
best,
most
aren't they?
passionate about and what I feel most locked in doing. I feel more at home doing that than probably anything else.
That's a good one.
Awesome.
You can
Yeah.
have a good day shooting a bow, and I'll be like, yeah, he's all right. But anybody who's consistently good at stalking, there's no denying that motherfuckers just got it. Like, you don't get, I mean, you can get lucky, I guess, but like, that's a hard one to fake being good at. You know, you can have good days on a range, but like, if you could consistently be good at stalking, that's something to hang your hat on.
And it's so hard. It's so
Yeah.
hard to do. And that's
Yeah.
why I think I love it so much. Another just like personality thing for me, I guess, is I've always loved really hard stuff. You know, whether
Yeah.
it's like learning some trick that's like impossible or, you know, or doing a stalk that seems impossible and then pulling it off. That's why I love weightlifting too. Like weightlifting is hard as shit.
Yeah.
And I like it when you are like, oh man, I got this much weight on the bar. Whew, I don't know. And then when you get it and just grind through it like that, there's nothing like that. Like completing something really hard.
Yeah. Yeah. It's more
Yeah.
rewarding.
That was a sick question. Shout out to whoever asked that.
Yeah. I'll reach out to them, let them know. I'm sure
Who was it?
they'll watch. His name's Ryan.
Okay.
Ryan Maloney.
Ryan
Great
Maloney. Shout out to
question.
Ryan Maloney. Yeah,
Nice
great
job.
Shout out
question.
to Ryan Maloney. Great question. Me and Elliot were talking about it before you jumped on, behind the scenes, and I was like, I think this is a shout out to that video you made with Paige about, oh man, if I get in under like 50 yards, I'm gonna stock out.
Oh yeah,
And
I'm
to get
backing
to
up.
I'm backing out. I don't take shots under 70. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But
That shit was
there's a
fun,
truth
man.
to what you're saying there, where stalking an animal is definitely it's definitely a hard thing to do. And I mean, I know personally I've blown quite a few great opportunities just on making silly mistakes under pressure. So
Yeah. There's no
Yep.
cheating a stock usually.
no.
For sure. For sure.
So
Especially when you're on like, you know, a mature muley or like a coos deer, something like that, just real wiry animals out in the desert.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's so tough. And desert terrain's loud. Like I always say not, you know, not that it was part of the question, but my biggest stalking tip I always give to newer folks when or even seasoned people, because you know, nowadays I get the opportunity to film for people that I'm friends with on their stalks.
Yeah.
So I get the opportunity to watch what they're doing and kind of be able to be a bit of a guide on the stock plus a filmer. And by far, the most common mistake I see on stocks is people go way too fast almost all the time because
Yeah.
there's no rush. The way I put it to people is it's like, look, whatever animal you're stalking, he's not leaving
Yeah.
unless you bust him. So
Yeah.
there's no rush. Now, is there the very rare occasion where you stalk in and he's gone by the time you get there for whatever reason? Yeah, sure, but it's like
Yeah.
1 out of 25.
Yeah.
I'll take those odds.
99% of the time you did it.
Exactly. So to me, I think that a lot of times, like let's say someone has to close 200 yards on a bedded muley. I think a lot of times people are trying to do it in 15 minutes. When I think
Yeah.
for me to close 200 yards on a muley, it's probably taking me 2 hours. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I go slow as shit. I got my stocking shoes. I'm going like one step at a time. If I feel the wind blow harder or a plane flies over or something like that, maybe I'll get a couple of steps a little bit quicker while there's like
Yeah.
exterior noise. But I think
That's a good
that
tip.
for someone listening that maybe wants to be better at stalking, I would say go take your normal speed and go 25% of that and give that a try and see how it goes.
Yep. That's
And
a good tip.
obviously the wind has to be good.
Yeah.
That's a non-negotiable.
Real quick before you jump to the other one, just for my own personal knowledge, what stocking shoes are you using? Because I'm in the market.
I was about to
Right.
ask that same thing because he said I
Yeah.
got my stocking shoes, and I was
Yeah.
like, I gotta know.
Yeah, so mine are actually called Wittens, and you can get them on Amazon for about I think they're about $30.
Oh, that's not bad.
And I've tried everything, right? I've tried back in the day we had what was called bear's feet that would go over your shoes. I've
I
tried
had them.
socks, I've tried water shoes, I've tried toe shoes, I've tried everything. And these are the best. They're designed
Okay.
for like
Are you
walking
talking
in.
about these?
No, not those ones.
Those
Not
are
Okay.
those
tennis
ones.
shoes, brother.
Type in like
I
a
know that's
water type in like Witten water sock. I'm not sure the name of it, but they literally just look like a sock, but they have that stuff that goes on like fighting gloves that like you can't
Oh,
really
that.
penetrate. Like
Yeah.
oh,
occasionally,
it's neoprene.
like yeah, it's like neoprene. Yeah, exactly. Occasionally, a cactus or something will go through them. It does happen. But for the most part, stuff's not going to penetrate them and they're silent. And the best part is they're very, very malleable. So you can feel the ground. And that's
Yeah.
another key tip. You have to be able to feel the ground. So
Yeah.
some people will stock in tennis shoes. I'm like, dude, that's doing you no good because
Yeah.
I need to be able to place my foot and go, ooh, I can feel that there's a twig there that if I set my weight down, it's going to break. And then I
Yep.
need to be able to move my foot. And
Yeah.
they have super good grip. So we have actually kicked the tires for quite some time on developing our own stocking shoe, but we got a lot of
That'd
stuff
be
going.
cool.
So at some point maybe, but
Is
ooh,
that
yeah. That's the one. I can only see the outline, but that I can tell by the sole. That's the one.
I
Yeah.
saw it and I was like, this is what he's using. Elliot, I'll send it to you.
Yeah. Send it to me
Yeah.
because
And
I'm
let
gonna get
me.
some.
I'm gonna sell. A lot of people are gonna go buy those after this podcast. But the
They
other
look
cool part
slick
about
as hell.
So the other cool part about them is you can fold them like they're totally malleable like a sock. So you can pack,
Mhm.
they pack amazing, right? You can
Okay.
ball them up, put them together. They're pretty light. But yeah, and they're cheap. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they last, get this. This will tell you how good those shoes are. We were hunting goats in Hawaii last year. And when I tell you guys that this is the gnarliest terrain I've ever hunted in my life, I really mean that. Like it was so steep, so rocky, so many thorns, so nasty. Where we were hunting was an hour from the hotel. So we drive there, we get there, and I realized, yo, I had flip flops on. And I realized I forgot my hunting boots at the hotel. And I'm
Mhm.
like, all I
Damn it.
got's my stocking shoes. In the spot we're hunting is a 3-mile hike up the gnarliest terrain ever. And I said, you know what? I'll just wear these. So I put on my stocking shoes and I hiked 3 miles in on the gnarliest, treacherous terrain you can imagine. All the
Mhm.
way up, all the way back, and they were perfectly fine, ready to go. That's
I'll
how
be
good
damned.
they.
That's
Yeah.
dude, my buddy Josh went back there and shot axis deer, and he's like, you would not believe because you don't think about it when you think of Hawaii. but he goes, you would not believe how fucking gnarly the ground is in Hawaii. He said it's treacherous.
Well, it's all. So first of all, where we were hunting, crazy, crazy steep. I mean, like
Mhm.
you could. I'll say this lightly, you could die. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's so steep where you could die on this terrain, 100%. You're hunting cliff bands. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And it's lava rock, which
Right.
literally is like harsh sandpaper.
Yeah.
And those shoes were good enough to protect my feet and be just fine and not even show an ounce of wear after hiking for 6 miles in
Shit.
those. That's how good they are. Like, dude, you could hunt
You
them
gotta
full
leave a
time.
review for him.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
If it wasn't cold, you could hunt them full time.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, I'll
Yeah.
pick me up some for sure. Cause I was looking at
Yeah.
those, like, I don't know what they were. They're those leather moccasins that are like $180 or whatever. And I was like, fuck it. If it gets me closer to a deer, it's worth it. But I'll try
So
that
the
route
so the
first.
so the moccasins are pretty good, but you don't have as good of a ground feel in moccasins, in my
They seem like
opinion,
they'd be slick.
and they're a lot slicker. That's the thing. These, because of that rubber stuff, the
Mm-hmm.
rubber material, they grip like crazy. I mean, I've walked on rocks probably this steep on a side slope,
Mm-hmm.
and they gripped like I was Spider-Man. Like they're
Hell
the
yeah.
best. And like I
Perfect.
said, I've dumped a lot of money into trying to find the best. And
Okay.
shout out to my buddy Tim. He was the one that got me onto those, but he's right. They are
Nice.
the best. That I found,
Okay.
yeah, maybe there's something better, but I don't know how it could be a
Probably
lot
not for
better.
that price point.
No.
No.
So, yeah,
Nice.
that was a
That's good.
dope question too.
That's
Shout
good
out to
stuff.
Ryan Maloney.
Yeah, that was awesome because those things look slick as hell.
Yeah.
Already in my cart.
What
So
else you
this
got?
one, it's not a question. It just says, no question. Tell them to shoot outlaws next year.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Hey, maybe this year we'll see.
Yeah. We'd love to have you at June Shoot, obviously, but also Fresno, it just sounds kind of like it lines up with your schedule.
Yeah, it might.
Get it in there.
Hey, you never know. We might be
And
there.
we'd love.
Yeah.
Usually, well, I don't know what's going on in the sense of like obviously there's been some changes in the industry, archery world closed down and things like that, but usually they have their big trailer out there, like a miniature store basically, but not a miniature store, like you can get damn near anything you need.
Wow.
So
cool.
I don't know what the changes are with that since they closed down in the last year, but I'm also, sounds like one for Elliot. How did you discover your alter ego? Was it meds or was it a sweat lodge? From a very close friend of ours.
Peyote and a teepee.
Peyote and a teepee.
There you go.
No, man, I've always wanted to have that hair. Period. Always wanted that. Like, dude, my favorite genre of music is 80s hair metal. Like Great White Rat. That's my jam, right? So I don't know. That just, if I was born earlier, that's what I would look like right now, I think is what that is. Probably the me that I don't get to be. How's that?
I love it. That was the first time I met Elliot. He had that hair on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a that was a good first interaction. We had a lot
I
of fun
loved
that
it,
day, dude.
dude.
That was so much fucking fun.
I'm really proud of like just how much fun we had, how funny the skits were and the good times and how it even happened too. I think this would be a fun story for the listeners, but I had never met Paige, right? But I was going up to film with her and we had the dates figured out and I said, "Hey, I really like doing like sitcom skits sometimes." I was
Yeah.
like, "Do you happen to know anyone who we could bring in to like do some skits with us?" Like, and she goes, "Yeah, I know just the guy. I'm gonna hit up this
Yeah.
guy Elliot, who I had no idea, and he probably I don't
Yeah.
know if he knew who I was, or probably not, but she
I
was
didn't at the
like,
time.
and she was like, I'm gonna hit up Elliot and see if he'll do it, and then yeah, that was it. We filmed a bunch of skits, and they were super funny, and ever since then, him and I bonded so much over just like action sports and the movie Rad, of course, and
Yeah.
And yeah, that was it. So I haven't seen him since then until Vegas. So it was a lot of fun to reconnect and have some fun.
Yeah. Yeah, he ended
Yeah.
up s kiping some freaking seats next to us when we shot we watched the shoot offs and shit that night and had a few beers, and it was fun, man. It was a good time.
Yeah. That was great.
We'll have
So
to do that again. That was a blast, dude. All that shit was like I don't know, people have asked me like, how'd you guys fucking come up with that? And I was like, dude, that was just bullshit. That was all ad lib. We just kind of just Brianna kept
yeah.
the camera rolling and we just started talking shit, and that's
You
what we
did.
got. And it was fucking funny, man. I had a good time.
I could see in Reading doing some
Oh
more. I think
yeah.
we should definitely do
Yeah.
some more. And it would actually be fun too to I met her this weekend for the first time, but it would be fun to get Heather in on a couple too, just with her kind of thing too. Like I think we could
Yeah.
do
I don't.
some pretty cool stuff. Yeah.
I don't. Heather. Who's Heather?
Gether
Do you
whore,
mean,
I think is
do you mean Gether?
Yeah.
Gether whore?
Yeah.
No,
I
Heather's
think
good
that
people, man.
I think that
Heather's
would I
good.
think that
Heather's
I think
great.
that would be fun because you guys both have the '80s vibe. I just kind of bring like the friggin' whatever
Yeah,
different
you actually
vibe.
have the hair is what's cool.
Yeah, I already got it. So
Yeah. No,
yeah.
so
But
like Heather lives like 20 minutes up the road from us, and she lives really close to a badass freaking range. If you guys come through early for Reading, I don't know what your situation is, but you could definitely stop early and like well you and if you guys need um this is a bridal suite that I'm in. Like I said, we have a wedding venue, but you guys are more than welcome to crash here for a night or whatever, and we can practice at the house, or we can run up and meet Heather at Nevada City or something and make a day of it if you want. But if
I
you're
would love
passing
that.
through, you know.
I would love that. I think there's a good chance of that. And I would love to just, hang out at your place, have some fun and friggin'
Yeah, man.
film some fun stuff too. That'd be sick. But do we
We'll make a
what other questions I'm freaking loving these
yeah.
fan questions.
Well, so the next couple of are more on the serious side. So,
Okay.
um, moving back before these two, I want to go back to another one that was asked, which was, I'm gonna paraphrase it until I pull it up because it's on my page. What was the experience? How was the mental side of shooting Vegas?
Well, it was interesting because everyone kept saying how everyone's score drops 5 to 10 points in Vegas, and I really didn't want to do that. But I was kind of like, my thought was, I shoot on camera all the time. I've shot with relatively high profile people a bunch of times. So I was like,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to be nervous doing this. Like, I think I'll be just fine. And my scores would say I was because they were pretty much the exact same as I do in practice. But that first day, oh, dude, when I stepped up on the practice line for the first two ends, I was like, bro, I don't know why I'm shaking crazy right now, but I got to
Yeah.
pull this together. I got to figure something out. And I felt that way through at least five ends of the competition the first day. I felt crazy. I mean, my dot usually doesn't really go outside the 10 a whole lot. I feel like it's like in it that bastard was hitting the red sometimes. You know what I mean? And I'm like, this is stressful. This is
Yeah.
tough. But all I had to do was really just say, hey, one shot at a time. I'm going to watch the timer like I always do. I'm going to shoot. I'm going to draw the first one around 110. I'm going to shoot it. I'm going to set my bow down. I'm going to stand there, take some breaths. I'm going to draw again at 75. I'm going to shoot the second one. I'm going to set my bow down, take some breaths for about 20 seconds, draw again at 30 and shoot. I just tried to not deviate at all from what I do in practice and just
Hmm.
do the same thing. And although the shots were harder in the sense that my bow was moving a lot more, I just relied on watching the timer, taking my time, taking my rest between shots, and just trying to do one good one at a time. And that was it. That's the only reason why I think I was able to score what I do in practice, basically. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe 1 point worse, but roughly the same. Was just that I really tried, regardless of the nerves, to at least approach every shot the same way.
Yeah. It sounds like you stuck to a process that you developed in practice, which is if you don't have one, that's crucial.
That's key.
Yeah.
If
For
you don't
sure.
have a process, the end of the day, you need a process.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
You
And
can't go into a tournament without a process. You can't have any kind of
you
hope.
can't wing Vegas.
Yeah, you can't hope that you do such a thing. You have a
for sure.
process that allows you to do said thing. And
For sure. And for me, watching that timer, dude, is like so
No, it's
key
good.
because what I learned was that, you know, I've only shot a target bow for 6 weeks. So the weight of the bow took me a long time for my body to get used to. And by the end, it was like I could have shot the shots faster. But what I learned was in practice, when I would just ring off 3 shots,
Mm-hmm.
by shot 3, my aim would break down a bit from like shot 1 and 2. And how I could mitigate it was just to set my bow down and just stand there. I look like a
Yeah.
lunatic. I literally just set the bow down and just like stand there and look like straight ahead, like at nothing.
Yeah.
And then when I see the timer hit 75, I go, all right, it's time for arrow 2. Draw back, shoot. And usually when I look back at the clock, it's at like 55. And I'm like, okay, I got 25 seconds to just stand
Yeah.
here. So I stand there for 25 seconds, pull up the bow and do it again. So for me, that was really big. And I think especially in like with all the nerves that I didn't expect to come, um, that time gave me a bit to try to slow my heart rate down. Like I was
Sure.
literally trying to like put my brain in my heart and go, you gotta slow down. And I was
Yeah.
like really trying to like actually actively slow my heart rate down. And it would have been interesting to wear like an aura ring or something and
Mm-hmm.
see if I actually did or if it was just a mindset thing. But
Mm-hmm.
that was that process was key for sure.
Yeah. No, you handled it well. I think you handled it probably better than a lot of seasoned guys because there's a lot of people I'm sure that left yesterday who did not shoot their practice averages. I'm one of
Yeah.
them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And would have
Yeah.
liked to if I think everybody would have been really, really happy to shoot as good as they do in practice, and you did. So that's awesome.
I literally left there and I'm like, I'm soaked. Like Brianna, like I didn't even know. First of all, I didn't even know you could win money. I had no idea. So I'm just
Oh,
shooting like I didn't know that, right?
mm-hmm.
And then on the last shot, like I come back and I'm like, dude, I shot my highest 298 today. Like I'm so stoked. And she's like, I probably exaggerate the story a little bit, but I thought she was going to tell me like my mom died or something. She's like, you have no idea because I shot a 9 on the last arrow, which dropped me from 3rd to 6th, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't fucking care, like bro, like I'm
Yeah.
so happy, like I don't give a shit, you know. But next year, you know, I thought about it a lot, and I'm like, dude, with 6 weeks of prep and never doing this indoor thing. I'm like, next year, like, I really believe I'll be in a position to like really hammer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like with more time and getting the bow a little bit better. Like, there's things the bow, how I have it right now, the bow doesn't aim the best, I wouldn't say. Like, it
Mm-hmm.
moves faster than I think it should. But
Mm-hmm.
my thing was, I didn't want to chase equipment with such a short time crunch. So I'm like, I'm going to keep
Yeah,
it the
it's
same.
smart.
Like, I'm not changing it. This is how I'm going to
Yeah.
shoot it. And then after the event, I'm going to go and I have video planned with a couple of pros that I haven't filmed with before, but I'm going to film with them and do like really make the bow aim the best it can. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then ultimately with a year of prep versus 6 weeks, I think I'm going to do really, really well next year. And I think I did really well this year. Like, dude, I'm so
Yeah.
proud of a 892. Like, you know, like, bro, like
Yeah.
I'm
Like I
proud of
said,
it. You know?
to go to Vegas and shoot your practice averages is not an easy thing to do, and I don't think many people did. So hats off to
Yeah.
you. And like you said,
Thank
like
you.
maybe next year. I mean, I don't know what a goal would be, but I mean, I think a good goal would be a 300 at Vegas is a pretty cool thing to hang your hat on, and you can do it for sure. You've done it in practice, and you're gonna have a lot of
Yeah.
practice leading up to it. So even just trying to get one I think would be totally attainable goal. You know what I mean? Nothing crazy like, no, I'm not going to shoot for 900 or something like that, but just one, I think, is totally doable.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, I do feel like a 300. I feel like it slipped away a little the third day. Like I think I should have probably done it. You know what I mean? Like I was
Yeah.
clean through 8 and I was like,
Yeah,
bro, we're
you're right there.
rolling, bro. And then I mean I just missed one on round 9 and then like I said the final shot was ass. But you know, I just as a total rookie, I never like I said, I've never even done a league night ever. This was
No,
cuz I thought the videos would be more like I thought that the whole series of the last 6 weeks of leading up to my first indoor competition, initially I had planned to go shoot some leagues during that process.
Mhm.
But then I thought to myself, I went, it would actually be really dope if the first time I ever lined up for score was at Vegas. So I said, that's what I'm going to do. But next year I'm going to do a couple, um, a couple of league nights, and I think the bow will aim better by then for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I think I
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
think it can aim better. And then, just be ready to rip. I'm not going to do anything crazy. Like I was telling Brianna, like I'm not going to sign up for open or anything crazy, but unless I told her if I'm shooting 30x every single time in practice, like then I probably should. But like
Yeah,
we got to
better.
see where we're at. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and go from there. But I'm excited, bro.
Elliot still doesn't. Elliot still doesn't sign up for open, so
No,
you're
I know,
fine.
and he's yeah, exactly.
He's
So
been there a whole bunch of times.
I want to. I'm going to before
You die?
it's all over. Yeah, before I die.
Yeah.
I want to do it. Just this year,
Yeah.
God, every year it just keeps getting harder and harder to find the time to put the actual
Well,
work in. Like
also the freaking level gets raised every year. Bodie
Yeah,
shot 90 X's.
yeah,
You know?
I know.
I
There's
couldn't
like
believe that.
to sign up for a class
It's
knowing
awesome.
full well that there's no fucking chance in hell of pulling that off is kind of gay. Like there's a
Yeah.
chance in flights, you know what I mean? Just there is. So that is a lot more appealing. But I do want to do it just for the experience of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Like I said, to me, it all comes down to
I have to preface also though. I give Elliot shit, but I also did not go to Vegas, so
yeah. Elliot's really good, dude. I mean, when he told me he shot at 299, then I watched him shoot his second 299, and then we came over to each other right away. He very kindly brought me a pale ale, or no, an IPA. We were
Hazy little thing.
we were homies the whole weekend. So I was so proud of his shooting. Like, dude, that's so good. And yeah, man, I don't know. It was really fun.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. I already can't wait for next year. I wish it was like next week.
Just wait for Reading, dude. Reading's gonna be a ball.
Reading is gonna make you.
I'll tell you right.
Reimagine what a tournament's like. Just I don't know. I think Reading is the pinnacle of every year. Like the way you feel about Vegas right now is how I feel about Reading every year. The week after, I'm like, damn it, it's over.
And I will tell you this, like, I usually don't go out on a limb like this, but for this podcast, I'll throw it out there. I'll do much better at Reading than I will at Vegas because that's the type of shooting I've done forever. You know what I mean? Like that's what I do. That's where I'm comfortable. I cannot wait for that, and the nice part about being an influencer is like, bro, no one expects me to do well. So it doesn't matter. Like I guarantee there was so many haters of influencers that are like, this dude's going to do terrible in Vegas.
I
and
will
we did
say,
it, and and I'm happy about that.
Yeah. No, Greg said it a long time ago, I think when you were on his podcast first. He kind of is like, influencers are typically not the best shot, but he gave you like a lot of kudos for being a pretty decent shot. I was like, all right, let's see how fucking good this guy is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I commend the shit out of you for stepping, like you said, out of your, like, let's say your tax space to jump into something that's, really score driven, competitive and shit, and just try it. And you did it, and you did pretty fucking well. So
just to give you a heads up as to what you need to expect for Reading, an 892 in comparison for a Reading is a 1526, which is 14 down. So, James,
we do
not expect you to drop more than 14
if you shoot a
points
1526 in Reading, I'll quit my job.
I'll tell you, you know what? I'll do it for this pod. I'll do it for this pod. I will not. I'll do better than that because I'm so much better at outdoor. Like, I don't think people know this because I'm like in Arizona and California and like I don't do ASAs yet and stuff like that people pay attention to. But bro, I do a lot of competitive 3D shoots. You know what I'm saying? But like in different leagues than people know about. And like, for example, this last one I just shot in a couple weeks ago in Arizona is a Triple Crown series. Like, it's very competitive. There's good shooters. There's 40 targets. We're shooting, like I said, 12 10s, 8s, 5s. I shot 26 12s out of 40. And then I shot 3 8s, all the rest 10. So I was 46 up. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
that's stout.
I'm comfortable doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've done that my whole life. So
have you gotten a chance to shoot much orange dots?
Yes. So there we have a place by us called Aronco. So I've shot orange dots and always do amazing there. So like, unless something crazy happens, like in a mechanical or something, like I fully intend to do really well there. You know, like I didn't have expectations coming into Vegas at all, other than like try to do what I do in practice because I don't know, I'm a total noob. But coming into Reading, I mean, if I do terrible, it is what it is. The videos are fine, but like I actually expect myself to do really good at that. You know what I mean?
Something that I haven't mentioned. No, I
go. I got
100%. Yeah, you're good. 100%. I get what you're saying because and I'm not saying this by any means to take away what you did at Vegas, but I think one of the best things you did going into Vegas is going in without expectations.
Yeah.
Moving into something where you expect to do X, typically, you don't complete that thing, whatever it is. Now, I'm not saying you can't do it 100%.
Yeah.
You know, when Elliot won, he won with a 1528 when he won Reading. And that's a stout score. And obviously all I did was take your score from Vegas, you know, divide it by 900 and compare it to Reading, you know. So the two are not technically comparable in any way, shape, or form because they're two totally different formats. So I was just hassling you a little bit, but
no, dude, I love it. That's the thing. Like, one thing I always like is I like chap assing. You know what I mean? Like, I love talking shit and having fun with pals. So like, I'll never be the guy that's offended by someone being like, "Nah, you're gonna do shit" or whatever. Like, if anything, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, dude, well now I'm for sure not doing like shit because you said that." You know what I mean? Like, that's just how my mind is wired. You know, but I love
absolutely.
I love y'all's pod, like being on this pod right now because, bro, we're friggin' 2 hours, 22 minutes into this sucker, and I feel like we've chatted for like 30 minutes. Like, y'all are fun
crazy,
dudes,
right?
Fun to talk to, you know? And like, the only thing that sucks is like, I keep checking my phone because my friggin' battery, I dropped my phone in the hot tub earlier. So like, I started at 100 because I found a wireless charger, but I can't plug it in right now because it won't charge from the port, and I'm at 12%. So I'm like, no, we gotta just, it went from 100 to 12 while we're on this podcast. So I'm like, I don't want my phone to die, but it's freaking going, bro. You know, so I'm dreading the end, bro. But
punch out the last couple questions.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to say that so we can hit them. Yeah,
absolutely. I have them up here. If you haven't noticed, my eyes keep going downwards, and it's because I keep my phone up and running. I run questions through it, whatever it is. I always want to make sure.
You're wasting time. Get to them.
Yeah, no, I got it.
We're running.
I want to make I want to make sure that what we say is accurate. So like when things like rules and stuff like that, I want to be able to verify them and do things like that. So I got two really good questions. I'll start with the first one. From a bow hunter, wanting to shoot target, what would your equipment choices be?
Bowtech
I
Reckoning
guess
Gen 2.
I guess I would need like a little more like I would need to know whether they're talking about indoor or outdoor, but either way, I mean, dude,
Here,
there's some really good.
I
There's
got a
some
caveat for you. They followed
okay.
it up with the second one. Like scope, power, stabilizer weights, arrows, beginner, but serious about the approach.
Yeah. So
What?
my advice to a bow hunter that's just trying to get into competing for the first time is I would just do bow hunter class or modern bow hunter. Like that would be my thing. Like don't do
Yeah.
magnification, don't do lenses, don't do crazy bars. Just like get a dialed, some sort of good sight, and I didn't mean a dialed sight, but like a good sight
Yeah.
or dials are good, but like I wasn't meaning the brand, but like get a sight that's good, get a sight tape that's good, like Precision Cut, amazing. They're not a sponsor, but bro, their tapes are out of this world. Like my tapes are always perfect. So I would say get a really good tape, a good site with a good site picture, and run that. Like I wouldn't do anything crazy because if you're a bow hunter and you're trying to compete, what better way to get more prepared for hunting and get your toes into competing than just competing with people shooting stuff that you would shoot on a hunt. And
Yeah.
that's why, Brianna is going to do Vegas this year with her bow hunting rig. It's like, could we get her a Reckoning Gen 2 or Gen 3 or whatever? Like, yeah, we could, but she don't she don't want to shoot that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of
Yeah.
people don't. They want to shoot a hunting rig, what they shoot all the time. And, to be honest, like I almost feel like I would have shot better in Vegas with my outdoor bow just because I shoot it so well and I've shot it for a lot more than I've shot the indoor rig. But for me, big part of the video series was to say, like, we're going to do it like all the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it all the way. And that was why we did the target route. But I would say for most folks, dude, just do bow hunter or modern bow hunter, which I think is a great class.
Yeah.
That's coming in more and more.
That's
Just run that.
That's going to be a good class. And real quick, shout out to Kevin Wilkie, our
Yep.
previous guest on this podcast, first place modern bow hunter Vegas. Knew he could do it.
Nice.
That's going to be a good class, I think, going forward. And like you said, you get to shoot your hunting bow, but if you do want to dabble in like you get to shoot fat arrows, right? I would shoot fat arrows out of your hunting bow if you're going to do like the indoor portion of it. You get to still dabble in the target part of it, but not go full retard, like you said. And if you did want to, I would recommend something like maybe like a 4X lens or something like that. Maybe don't go. I think you would hate going more right out of the gate, and 4 will get you plenty. I was talking to Chance Boboff this weekend in practice, and he said when he won it, I think his first time, he said he ran a 0 magnification lens, which I thought was pretty interesting. But I think creeping into like you don't want to start with an 8 type of thing. That's something you're going to want to work towards. And when you have the ability to dial your draw length and stabilization and shit, because if that stuff's not on par and you're not holding that good, an 8X lens is going to make you hate archery. So maybe just creep into it. But yeah, I think the modern bow hunter is going to be I think that's going to be a growing class for a while.
Yeah, you definitely hear like me and Elliot, we both were on 8s, but until 2024 was the first year. Yeah, like I didn't run an 8 until Elliot gave me one, and I fiddled around with it, and I ran 6 for forever. And that's kind of like the upper magnification for most people.
Yeah.
That's kind of the high end. And there's only a few of us crazy bastards out there that want to see that much movement. But
it will make you adjust your bow hold. It will tell you that there's more to be gained. I'll tell you that for sure.
For sure. That's totally awesome.
Agree. Yeah. That's what I learned going to 8, and I do like the 8 a lot for indoor. But again, I agree with you. For outdoor, I would do modern bow hunter. I don't even think they allow lenses, so I would just run no magnification. I would max out the bar length that they allow. and run, like you said, 27s or 23s and let it rip. That would be my tip. And also like another factor you have to keep in mind, dude, is like me and Paige were texting about this. Like a full blown target rig is expensive as shit, dude. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
whereas
I
like
would
your
buy.
modern bow hunter bow is not that expensive. You know, I literally
Well, you already got it
look,
usually.
I'm obviously blessed, like Greg said in the podcast. He was like, just give your arrows to some kid, like, you know, because you're in
Yeah.
a very fortunate situation. And he's right. But like, I bought a B plus clarifier for my Hamsky Peep, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that bastard cost me $59 for a clarifier in my Peep. And I text Paige, I was like, I can't believe the price of this. And I was like, thankfully, I mean, I didn't pay for anything else on the bow, but like, yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
bro, like, how do people do this? Like, this
Yeah.
shit's so expensive. Like, I couldn't imagine. So, not only are you going to practice more like you hunt in modern bow hunter, you're going to save a ton of money too. So,
Yeah.
for me, that's a win win.
And I'll just real quick because I tell this to people all the time. Don't be afraid to fucking buy used. You can buy a
No, yeah.
3-year-old target bow for $500 right now. There's nothing wrong with it. They don't
Yeah.
wear out. You might have to replace a bearing rarely. New strings, you're good to go. Fiberglass isn't going to wear out on the limbs. And if you need, hit me up. I'll send you some fucking fat shafts that I have laying around if you're really
There you go.
truly into it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I love that. Guys,
Next
we're at
question.
8% more questions.
We gotta fire him up.
Yeah, I want to
Fire 'em
end
off.
too before I want to end too before it's at 0 because I don't know if like you got to save
Oh
this,
yeah,
so I don't want
it's gotta
it to get
upload.
to
Yeah,
0. Yeah.
You're at 99%. We're pretty much dialed.
Okay. Good.
I wanted to ask you specifically, what is your most memorable hunt that you have been on? And it doesn't have to be just the community you were with at the time, but like whether it was the biggest animal you killed, whatever it was. What is your most memorable hunt?
Oh, that's a tough one. I got a few. I mean, I got a lot that would be like the true answer. You know, like a lot of them. A couple of my top favorites aren't even my hunts. They were like hunts that I watched, like either for my dad or for Brianna. But
yeah,
I'll go with one of mine because I think that's kind of like a cop out answer. But for me, dude, I've been fortunate to shoot a lot of stuff, so I got a few coming to mind, but one would be this buck I shot in 2018. It's on the channel. Video was trash because we were very new, or maybe it was in 19. I shot this buck called the Houdini buck, one of the biggest mule deer I've ever shot. Thing was like probably 300 plus pounds, giant old buck.
hell yeah,
And his right antler alone, which is typical, his left one's not at all. Just the right antler was like 79 inches. So he was a huge buck, tons of mass,
mm-hmm,
probably 8 years old. The left antler was like this huge forked horn with like this club growing out the front. Like, dude, so sick. I love nasty bucks. And
mm-hmm,
he was so nasty, bro. But what makes the story so cool is I glassed him up one day and I go, dude, like I see this buck. He looks really big, but like something's messed up with his left antler. I don't know what's going on, right? I stalk in. Beautiful stock, tough stock. I get in there and I'm like looking everywhere. I'm just scanning the desert. I'm like, he's got to be right here bedded and it's rut time, right? So these bucks got does and I'm just not seeing any deer. And I'm just like, I know I'm right in the middle of, they got to be right here.
yeah,
All of a sudden, behind me, where the wind, like I had passed it. So the wind was now like blowing the opposite way because I'm creeping this way, like a couple deer blow, right? And I turn and look and there's like some does standing up like right behind me. And I'm in the middle of these deer. So I'm like, I have to find this buck immediately, you know?
yeah,
So like I'm frantically like scanning desert, like just looking for him and I cannot see him. Cause you know, there's cactus and shrubs. Like all of a sudden I see him, like I see his head dip and he stands up and I draw. He's at like 55 yards. I shoot and it's like, I just hear my arrow go clank, 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 clank. And I'm like, I must have missed. Or I had to have missed. And I just watch him run through the desert. Like no blood. I just watch him dart off. And I'm like, shoot, I missed him, you know? And my dad is glassing from a knob, and he's like, "Yeah, you missed him. Like, you missed the buck." I'm like, "Whatever. It was a quick shot. Had to act fast. It is what it is. You know, I guess I felt great on the shot. Maybe I had the wrong range. I don't know." So we hike back to the truck, get to the truck, and this cowboy comes by on his Kawasaki Mule, actually, and he goes, "Hey, I just saw the craziest thing." He's like, "I saw this huge buck. He had like a really typical right side antler, and then like kind of a messed up left side, but he had like a ribbon tied around his like torso." And I'm like, I know the buck he's describing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I go, right then it clicked. I go, I hit him through the top of the back. You know what I'm saying? And my arrow looked like a complete miss, but it had just grazed the top of his back where it gave him a cut, and then he's bleeding around the sides, but he wasn't going to die, right? Not a fatal hit at
Uh-huh.
all. And it was like this public land, right? Public land over the counter. This was like a Thursday. This dude comes in, nobody's hunting our spot. This dude comes in Friday, and he literally, his glassing knob is the same knob where I glassed his buck from. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to be a dick. I'm going to let him hunt this spot for the next 3 days. And I'm just going to have faith that he's not a good enough hunter to shoot this buck if he sees him. And then I'm going to come back Monday and shoot. I'm going to kill that buck.
Mhm.
So sure as shit, come back Monday. I was hunting other spots. I come back Monday. I'm glassing my eyes out, bro. Like, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? It's getting late in the morning and it's hot, you know? And I'm like, dude, I'm not going to find him. I shit you not, I pan the binoculars and like I catch this like just a little bit of movement going into the bottom of this ravine, disappears, and I'm like, that's the buck. I can tell it
Mhm.
was the buck. So we watch him, dude, and he has like, when I stalked him, he probably had 7 does. This time he had like 30. And I'm like, this is gonna
Oh,
be
good.
very, very difficult. He goes up along this rock bluff, like, so high, and I'm like, "Dude, this is impossible. Like, there's no way." But I gotta try. So I do this huge loop, come up above him, and I'm in the rock cliffs looking down, and I can see him with all his does. And I see this smaller buck, like, come across, and, dude, this dude, like, he was so big-bodied that he just postured and walked near this buck, and I watched this buck turn and literally run a mile through the desert away. Like, he's like,
No way.
I want no part of that, you know? And
That's
I shit
Debo.
you not, it was like a second it was like a blessing from God. I'm watching him, and I'm just like, I don't know how I'm gonna get closer. I'm like 130. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna get closer. And all of a sudden, his does turn and they all walk out off the hill into the desert. And I'm just waiting for him to turn and follow. And he looked tired, dude. Like that broadhead cut across top of his back, I think had him tired. And I can tell he's like, I'm like, dude, he might just bed down up here by himself. Sure enough, dude, he freaking beds right on this little outcropping. And I'm like, all right, this is it, you know, 1v1, baby. So I come around the hill, drop off the side. I put my shoes on. At the time, I didn't have the best ones, but still good shoes. I put them on, and dude, when I mean the loudest shit you could stalk in, I mean, endless rocks this big, dude, forever. That's all there
Yeah.
is these pumpkin-sized rocks. And then it was so dry that there was these like plants with little, I swear they're like bells on them. So if you'd clip one, they would like rattle, you know? And I'm like, dude, this is impossible. So I'm at 4%, so I got to finish this. So I'm stalking in, and I'm like, he's bedded, and there's like a little rock, like right in front of his vitals, like a rock about this big, right in front of his vitals. So I'm stalking in, I'm at like, I keep ranging, I'm like 80. Okay, if he stands up, I can at least give it a good crack. Now I'm at 70, 60, 50. And I mean, dude, it's taken me 20 minutes per 10 yards at least. You know, it's taken me
Yeah.
forever. And I'm going and going and going. And at this point, I range him, and it's like 33. And he's bedded facing away from me with the wind blowing up slope. So I'm like, I have
Mhm.
enough of a wind cut. And I'm like, all right, if I can step one step to the right, I can shoot him right behind that rock and kind of hit him like quartered away while he's bedded and kill him. He'll never know I'm here. Right as I'm thinking that, I go to take the step and I see his head drop like this. And I'm like, oh, he's getting up. So I literally just draw and he stands up and I smoke him and he runs off the hill. And I like so I like hustled to the edge of the hill and he's still standing down there and just unmarked. I was like, I'm going to try to shoot him again. I have a policy. If they're still standing, I'm going to shoot him again, even though I knew I pumped him. So I shoot again. I shoot over him because I didn't have a range or nothing. And dude, I'm watching him. He just starts going down this ravine and he's just going and going. And I'm like, how is he holding this, bro? Like, go down. And then all of a sudden, dude, he just topples and goes down. And I was like, it was just an unbelievable story to shoot a buck twice, 5 days apart, and like the stalk being so difficult, bro. Like, it's one of those
rewarding thing ever.
Yeah. And I don't do a lot of shoulder mounts. I have a handful, and I actually did not mount that buck, so I have them European mounted. Like all my biggest bucks are European mounted. But it's like the only one that I'm like, I probably should have mounted him. You know what I'm saying? But because I'm so proud of that deer. I'll send you guys a picture of him, but he's just freaking gorgeous and huge, and like the story, you can't even make it up. You know. But so that was long winded, but that would be it. And then a second one would be 2 videos. These are actually really good videos, both on the channel. One's called The Hat Trick. So I won't tell the story. Go watch the video. That's a over-the-counter Utah bull elk that I shot, and those are very, very tough units. And I shot that bull 3rd year in a row. I shot a bull on that tag. So that's why we called the video The Hat Trick. And then the other one is the first one of that 3 that I shot. And that video is
I'll check those out. My son's been
all
over YouTube hunting videos and shit lately, and having met you this weekend, he's going to be stoked. So that'll be perfect.
Yeah. But
how's
those
your
would be
battery?
a couple. I'm at 4%, so I think we can rail one more.
Okay.
Rail
what
one
do you
more.
guys
want?
I mean, I'm cleaned out on listener questions. Elliot, you have anything you want to add?
No, dude, that was good. That's the longest one we've ever done.
Longest one.
Hell yeah.
Let's go, bro. I would have gone another hour if my phone was.
We'll do it again whenever you want.
Yeah.
Absolutely, dude. I really want to get you back on just to ask more of these fucking exciting hunting stories.
No doubt.
They're awesome. 100%. We spent way too much time on Vegas. We should have been talking about hunting this whole time.
Yeah. Well, that season's coming. We'll have that to talk about. We'll have rating to talk about. There's more to come.
Yeah. We'll do another one.
And
I just want to thank you guys for giving me the chance to come on here. I had a lot of fun. I think this is the longest podcast I've ever done too. So really cool to be a part of it. And
dude, last time I looked, it was an hour and a half.
Yeah, we're at 2:41, and not many people make me stay up on a weekday past about 8. So this was a lot of fun, and I'm energetic. I might go hit the hot tub after this. You never know, but I appreciate it.
Don't drop your phone. Yeah, leave your phone.
Hopefully not. Yeah.
Awesome, buddy. Hey, we really appreciate you coming on, man. And like we both said, we really look forward to having you back. It's just always good to have fun conversations, and I mean, talk about, no more than just great conversations. So we really look forward to having you back, and definitely before hunting season, I want to get you on to have some fun hunting conversations. So
yeah, let's do it, guys. Well, thank you. Let's get this sucker saved. Let's make sure we do that. I'm at 3%. But I appreciate everyone. I appreciate you guys first and foremost for having me on. Obviously, your audience for listening. If they don't know who we are, Bow-Disciples, our YouTube, Bow-Disciples.com. Check us out. And we're on every social you can imagine. So Bow-Disciples across the board, and appreciate y'all.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, buddy.